welcome back to another Sunday live stream with me and Andy B. Going to be here taking a look at the work that you submit to us. Now, you can send your work to the email scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That's artmesomething@gmail.com. We go from a first come, first serve basis. So the first person here, let me mute myself over here. Sorry, guys. So we're going to go in order. I don't think there's a bunch of emails in right now, so we should be good. Let me go take a quick look. Yeah, I think there's like 40 emails of work. So if you're here right now, send your work in. You got a 100% chance if you send it in right now that it's going to get viewed here, all right? But nonetheless, guys, I just want to say thank you all to all the support you guys shown on the last video talking about the move to Texas. Shutting this place down here this summer. July 17th will be the last tattoo. I know we talked about that, but again, I truly want to say thank you to everybody who reached out, man. I can't tell you how encouraging that is. All right. I keep a positivity as much as I can, but it is a little scary. And you guys have 100% reassured me that, you know what, it's going to be okay. And I know it sounds weird to say, and I want to say an extra thank you to even some of the other people who reached out and put me in contact with some people in Texas. It was just overwhelming support, and I just feel truly blessed. So thank you all. I hope you guys had a great Sunday, or having still a great Sunday. I did. Went to church this morning. Fantastic service. Some sermons are they're just better than others sometimes, and they hit you home, and this one did, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Okay, guys, of course, we got Andy B here. He has stepped out for just a minute. I want to jump over here, say hello to a few of you guys, give you a few more minutes to send your work in. Again, email scrolling at the bottom of the screen, guys. Please get your work in. All right, Dennis says, we're in Texas, the San Antonio area, closer to like New Braunfels and whatnot. But in that general area, San Antonio area is where we're going to be going. And we'll be there in August. So we're going to be leaving here like the 1st of August. Okay, let me get up here and say hello to some of you guys real quick before we jump into it. Smoke, welcome, my friend. Brian, thanks for being here. Who else we got? Danik, good to see you, brother. I know some of you guys have been busy. It's all good. It's all good. Life happens. Winter stinks, in my opinion. We move on. We move on. Who else we got here? Rodney, appreciate you being here. Danik again. Scroll down here. Else we got? Who else is here? Sorry, guys. I scrolled way back there. Waiting on Andy. Yeah, looks like Andy's jumping in right now. Say hello to a couple more people. Jason, welcome, man. Thanks for being here, Mary. Okay. I think we got most of the people that are in the chat. Chris, thanks for being here, man. Joey, Bowie, appreciate you as well. Guys, go follow Joey. He's a great supporter of the channel. He's a great, just an all-around person. He's doing his thing and helping other people here as well, and I appreciate that. Let's see what we got. Nate, what's going on? Thank you. 322. Thanks for being here, man. Dennis, Nate, again. All right. Ricardo, appreciate it. Therapeutic Inc. What is going on, man? And Danik. All right. What is this? Lockin' Man just did the 25th tattoo today. Love your videos, by the way. Congratulations on 25 tattoos, man. It takes time. So don't beat yourself up, guys. Do not beat yourself up. All right, let's introduce Andy.
Yay! I'm back.
Hey, how you been, Andy?
All good, Dave. And that good week, like I was telling you, I'm all chilled out now. Rest today and tomorrow, and chill out, and then back to work as per usual.
Nice.
So you know it, the grind of a tattoo artist, especially when you're doing it for a living, day in, day out. Bring it on. We love it.
It never ends, man. It never ends. If you're replying to people, you're designing tattoos, you're booking tattoos, you're trying to. Yeah, they didn't say when you were getting into tattooing that you'd be like having three or four micro jobs in between just tattooing. It's like tattooing itself is the best part. It's the 55 things that you have to do to get that point every day.
No,
that, in my opinion,
it's like because I bet we get 20 odd messages a day, inquiries, you know, for one thing or another. So you've got to sift through all that lot. Then you're replying to them, and then you go through all spiel, and then all of a sudden they just come back and go, "Thanks."
Right. All right. Yeah, I'm looking to book sometime next summer. Right on.
Yeah.
I've had less of that, thank goodness, but there was a time where I felt like everybody just wanted to touch base because they were going to get in sometime later. All right, guys, keep sending your work and let me take a look, see what we got over here. Okay, cool. Yeah, we got some emails now. I think we got like 10, 11 right on. So we're going to be okay. Good to go. Just make sure we have enough content to carry it along. Again, guys,
let's see what we got, Dave.
I do want to look at one thing here, Andy. My wife found this gem, okay? This is a gem right here. Are you ready for this?
It's a belter, isn't it?
That's hey, that's a one of a kind. You want to talk about custom, man? I don't know if it gets much more. And I don't like to just shit on tattoos, guys. Excuse my language, but this is literally a person that look. They might actually be in the act of dookie on something here. I don't know who and what and man. And there's purple here, which tells me there might have been a stencil. Even that's even scarier. But then I got this like blue marker up here. I don't know how to.
What gets me, man, have you seen the amount of blood and everything that's dripping out at back?
Yeah, it's just poor back, man.
It looks like Freddy Krueger's done it.
Yeah, it's even got the little Freddy Krueger hand there, kind of all clawy looking. But that face. I mean, I hope this particular person found themselves a decent artist that is willing to take on this job. I don't even know what.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm just laughing at you later. Yeah, but at least lines are in solid.
Hey, you know what? I appreciate you looking for the positive things. I feel that. I try to do that. It gets harder and harder at times, but hey, they don't see a ton of blowouts here. It's just this was a fail from the get-go. I think from conceptualizing this tattoo was a fail. All right, this was just what? But really, what are people thinking? Don't you kind of wonder sometimes, like what is going on behind the scenes in the brain to say this is a good idea? I've done some work I'm not proud of in the past. All right, but
there's one thing I am glad of, Dave, that you went with this and not the picture of the one that I've got to cover up.
Well, see, Andy, I wanted to because the one you sent was ruthlessly funny. Well, I wouldn't even say ruthless, just hilarious. But I was a little nervous because of how it may be perceived by the YouTube algorithm things.
Community and algorithm.
Exactly. I almost had it on the thumbnail, and then my wife was like, I found this one. I was like, okay, we'll go with that one.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's like, I want something doing with that one. It's like, what is it? And then it showed it, I was gobsmacked. I was in awe of it, and it's like, got a bit of a complex on, I think, as well. And it's like, I'm going on holiday, so I don't abroad, and I don't want to be stood at bar with my shirt off with that on my back.
Oh, could you imagine? It's just like, hey, what's going on, guys? Like, I don't know. You just have to like really lean in hard in this tattoo. Like, that's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly. I know it's abstract. I came up with this, and they're gonna go like, at least the lines are put in pretty consistently. Right. It was intentional, man. Don't diss on that's my art, that's about as far as you could go. You'd have to really just live this one is all I can imagine. But okay, we'll get off on it. I just couldn't help but man, this was definitely an interesting one.
It's oops. You've upset Jeremy in comments. That was his submission as well. He submitted that this week. Jeremy.
This was yours, Jeremy, huh?
Yeah, he submitted that this week for critique.
Oh man, well, I have to say the lines are consistent, right? That's been the saturated
plenty of blood going on.
Plenty of blood. That's the artistic freedom you took on this piece. And I like it. All right. Well, now that we got the fun out of the way, let's take a look at what we have for emails here. That's a tattoo Picasso, Smoke. I see. I think you have the eye. We just don't have the eye for it, man. I just don't. Have the eye for it. You know. Here we go. Let me throw this on the screen so I'm not the only one looking at this. Here we go. Bam. Hey, what's going on, Caitlin? Let me say hi to a few people. DMiz3, I'm glad you love it, man. Hit me up. Definitely do that piece. Haley is the first one up. Haley, hey guys, I'd love to hear your opinions on some of my recent tattoos and first color tattoo. Really enjoy hearing your input a few weeks back. Thank you for your time. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Let's take a look here, guys. Okay. Is this fresh? That would be my first question. Is this fresh? Is this healing? I hope this is a few days because I see hair growing here. I hope that this wasn't taken right after it was done, but I do kind of think it was in some spots. So make sure if you're tattooing, guys, shave that hair down, clean that skin, get it prepped properly. It's going to help you in the long run. Yeah, and I mean the black is pretty. It's consistent, but something that you see is how the line running through is a bit darker than the actual fill. Kind of let you know that you could have slowed down a little bit more, got a little bit more ink saturated into the skin, but at least it's consistent. It's not super splotchy, you know? And, I think the lining's okay considering we're running some pretty long, this is not just tiny little lines. You got some arcing spots. You got the gap in between here. I see the wiggles. I do. But at the same time, I appreciate how hard that can be. And so I think considering not too bad. I don't quite understand the piece. What's going on here? Like, what is that? I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I will pass it to you, Andy. Let me know if you want me to zoom in. You want to take a look at anything?
Yeah, no, I mean, see, for me, it looks fairly fresh, this. Because I can see some redding.
Right.
It's just around the skin. So what I would say is, yeah, I mean, make sure you shave that skin. One, it's also going to help you stencil because you're going to exfoliate its skin. It's going to help you stay longer. But I'm pretty much with you, Dave. I can see some. It's fairly consistent as the black, but it's just not. And it's all of one tone, but it's not as rich as what it could be because you can see the difference between. There's a big difference between the packing and the line work. And usually that'll be at a minimum. And like I say, and it still shows up for a few places, like round the head there. There's a couple of little wiggles in lines, which we all get wiggles in that. I mean, generally, for what this tattoo is, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I just think they could have spent a little bit more time packing the black.
Yeah, which is such a tedious thing. I would have never known how tedious packing black is to get it smooth and consistent, and so it takes time. It takes time. I don't know. It's like digging a hole for me, like packing black or packing color. Sometimes it's just like it's truly. Oh, okay. Oh, you really see. Okay.
We can see a bit. We can see some holidays and packings across.
I wonder also, Andy, what I think would really helped is maybe a larger mag. You can see that the mag they were using might have been a little small, maybe something a bit thicker to kind of leave a little less streaks. But then again, I guess if you saturate it completely anyhow,
if you saturate, and if you're using a small mag, it's just going to take you longer and you're working in smaller patches at a time. But yeah, you can see this picture and this angle that it's taken at really highlights how much of the black is missing and it's not that well saturated around the back. You can see the holidays in it, not up to the lines, and this is going to be black/grey in areas, as it heals up.
Yeah, definitely. You're definitely going to see on the back here quite a bit of a lightness when it heals. But hey, you know what they're doing? Lines and packing black, like I suggest early on. Lines, pack black. Don't worry all about everything else. But this is also a large tattoo, so if you're practicing just lines and packing black, maybe take it back a notch, do some smaller stuff, really see that solid saturation. Like down here at the bottom kind of looks somewhat saturated, but that can be the way we go. We start packing down here. Yeah, it's like, dang, this is taking forever. We'll get a little bit more rushed with it as we move along. That takes patience.
But from that angle as well, especially at the bottom, it does make tattoo look more fresh because there's a lot more redding around the bottom of the arm from this angle.
Yeah, it's true. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh, here we go. We have a smaller piece. Let's take a look.
Again, I
Yeah.
can see the graininess in the black. The
Yeah.
black's not packed.
Yep. I will say some of the lines aren't too bad. Again, I don't know how long you've been tattooing. Sometimes that helps. But where they need to be relatively decent, they are relatively decent. So I definitely see where you're going. You're definitely
Yeah,
going down the right road. You just got to slow down with that packing. That'd probably be the biggest thing would help this out big time.
yeah. I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's like on the sickle for the reaper and that the pole. It's pretty much parallel all the way down. The curve
Right.
of the actual blade looks really good.
Right.
The managed to keep it together and get all the little sections in, for the skeleton hand and everything in it. Just the thing that's just letting this one down, I think, Dave, is just the packing of the black.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it's close. It's close. When this heals and they look at it and they learn from this, you're gonna realize that it's got to look a bit closer, a bit more like this. Like this looks like one of the darker areas on the piece. We kind of
Yeah,
want all of it. You can see like the rake marks here. If you see too many rake marks, that kind of let you know. If you can see the rakes, then it's not fully saturated. And it's not easy. It's really not. I don't. It's not. Okay, here we go. Totally different from what else we looked at. Um. Okay, well, I'm not the biggest fan of this color work only because it's not
half in.
saturated as well, it's just
It's
kind of it's filled but not saturated.
yeah, it's half in and half out. Is that colour?
Yeah.
It
And
could
that
have
wall
been,
looks a little funky.
yeah, it could have been so much better punching that colour in, and blending it out, using same tones and blending it out.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Definitely.
and like I say, I think that's the thing that's letting this one down.
And also, Andy, I think now this a lot of times what we talk about is execution of tattoo. But again, the placement of this one kind of throws me off a little bit as well. You know, you have like this diamond that is touching the elbow and the ditch. I could see how maybe that would be an idea to maybe join it. But to me, it just, I don't know. It's like it's got to be perfectly symmetrical on both parts, or it's going to be angled all the time or slightly off because one of the parts of the arm is always bent a lot of times. So just an odd placement in my opinion, but there are some good stuff here.
Yeah,
Um, like overall, minus it being a diamond and whatnot, I don't mind the design here. I think it's kind of cool. She's
no,
green, the red hair, the colors work. It pops. It's readable. A
yeah.
little bit of
I mean,
purple over here.
don't get me wrong. The overall aesthetics of the tattoo, it's readable. You know what it is. I just think the colours could have been put in a little better,
Yeah.
a little smoother, which would have then taken this to the next level.
Mm-hmm. And a bit more dynamics in the colors.
Yeah,
I feel like they used saturation to almost try to sell a dark area versus a lighter area, which you can do in like black and gray to some degree. But as it looks like this portion here is like saturated more, and then maybe lighter over here, where maybe that's a darker spot. Where you're far better, and what you really want to do is have a few tones of green, darker green, mid-tone green, light green, something like that, maybe even a yellow, depending on what you're doing, and space those out. So you have a dark green, and then it's like, oh, I have this other green. There needs to be some distance between the different tones, or they're going to end up just looking pretty much the same if you put them next to each other in the skin. Yeah, guys, I see people asking where to send your work in. There's an email scrolling at the bottom of the screen. It's artmesomething@gmail.com. It says send your work to. Where it's a first come, first serve basis. I'll let you guys know right now. We run for about 2 hours. And then if we don't get to them, we don't get to them. But we start looking at work starting when the notifications go out that we're going live. So you can send your work in right now. We only look at work while we're live and stuff that's sent in while we're live. But if we don't have enough time and we don't get to everybody, then we don't get to everybody. This is the fairest way we have found to do it, to make sure the people here get rewarded for being here if they want to have their work seen. Okay, good to go. Good to go. Let's see what do we got next. Oh, okay. All right. Here's now. Oh, okay. Her hand's holding it. All right. Well, that makes a little bit more sense. I was wondering about the floating skull, but yeah, and that's partially on an elbow too. So that's gonna be a rough heel back there, really,
Yeah,
for
bad
undersaturated
skin.
colors. Shall we see what's next? Okay. All right. Let's get in on here. All right. Wait, we're still seeing that undersaturated blacks because this tattoo could be a pretty decent tattoo. The tricky part is, I know Andy will say it as well, is these are pretty close to each other,
Yep.
but when you're running exact same numbers or letters across, you have to really try to make sure they are consistent across. These are pretty close, and from a regular distance, I think they look okay and fine, but that saturation is the big issue here, in my opinion. It's got to
Yep.
saturate that black.
Yeah, it's like you say. I mean, you've got especially three numbers side by side. You've got to get them as close as damn it. And like you say, Dave, they are as close as damn it. And when you zoom out,
Yeah,
it must take
right.
some notice. And they are of all at the same size, all in a line. You ain't got one up here, one down there, and everywhere. But the problem with this is the saturation of the black.
Yeah. Yeah,
This
and I
black
don't mean to get
is,
that far zoomed in, but it's good to show
no,
people what non-saturated blacks look like.
yeah, it's that is key to pulling this stuff off.
Mm-hmm.
You must punch that black in.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we're all over the place. We've got tons of different stuff going on here. Here, I thought we were just doing, and there's more still. Okay, I think this one really misses the mark, Andy. I'm sure I imagine you're understanding there as well.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, for me, this misses. So much could have been done with this.
Right. I don't. It feels disconnected, like two different.
Yeah,
This
and
piece does not feel connected to this, and then saturation issues.
the saturation issues and use of color issues,
Right.
like we said before, like that flower that you just got in the middle there.
Yeah.
It looks pretty much one tonal. Like we said before, should be using a minimum of 3 colors per piece. You're not blending them out. That flower there could have taken 4, 5, 6 different colors, shaded, blended out. By the time you make them, you could be into, I don't know, with different shades. You could be into 12, 13, 14, 15, color shades and everything. And that's where, for me, this misses the mark. This could have been taken so much further.
Oh, yeah.
Punching that color in. And it's like the blackberries. The blackberries are all one noted. You look at a blackberry, there'll be blacks in them, there'll be purples in them, there'll be blues in them, and everything. When you're doing blackberries, you end up colouring every single time, and I've done it myself. I've done plenty of blackberries. You end up colouring every single berry in individually.
Yeah.
To get that finish.
Right.
And then half the berries will have a highlight on them, so you've got to go in them with white when you're done. I just think this could have been taken to the next level with the proper use of colours and colour blending for me.
Yeah.
For me.
I agree with you, Andy. And again, the same thing rings true up here. I do think we got a bit more of a saturated flower up here, but man, is it just like two noted?
Yeah.
Or one note. I mean, I think we tried to do like maybe a little bit something down here, but again, you got to be a bit more extreme and don't take it too far, but you got to be a little more extreme with your contrasting, right? So you might be like an orange and I'll do a light orange and then, like a yellow, and then be a little bit more dramatic with the jumps in between. Because if you put light orange running into a yellow, you really just end up with light orange into a yellow in the skin. It doesn't really read very well. And there's no real shape to this flower either.
You've got to at least skip one shade in between every color.
Yeah, that's it. 1 to 2 for sure.
Preferably 2 at least, because you can, if you want to get in between that, you can go from one color into the next. Mix it in your tip. You mix it in your tube, and you've got somewhere in between.
Yeah.
So 2 shades apart on every single color will get you virtually a real good color spectrum across it.
Absolutely. And the lining also, some are decent, some aren't. Yeah, I think you're in that zone where you're trying to find that consistency on a regular basis. That's one of in my opinion, one of the hardest things to really hone down. It takes a little bit more time, unfortunately, in the skin when you're making that transition. So there's going to be some mistakes, but the color stuff, you can definitely get right on paper first, right? Spend a little more time. What I do like about this, though, I like the photo. And I say that because there's a nice background. Heck, they even put a little greenery in the background, really vibing with the photo itself. I like that. I appreciate that. Let's see what else we
But
got. Oh, go
this
ahead,
is what
Andy.
we were saying. This is what we're saying when you go back to that one, Dave. You move across to them leaves that are in that background. You
Yeah.
look at that in real life. I can probably see what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 colours in each one of them leaves.
Right.
And when you're taking, this is what you've got, and there's some really big stark contrasts in there, in them leaves. And this is what we were saying about your colours. You take a study and you study a leaf and look at a leaf and certain leaves, that there is a massive contrast, and you've got to translate that into your tattoo.
Definitely.
And by using, like you said, an orange, then a bit of a yellow, then a bit of a red, that are so close together that when you put them all in skin and blend them, they all look same. But that leaf has got stark contrast, and that's what you've got to try and do.
Absolutely. Okay, here's the line work. Okay, so it was all done at once, lined, and then from again, it comes from to a design point. I'm not really digging whatever this is going on here. I'll just be honest with when it comes from design. I know not everybody's sending it in to be critiqued about design or whatnot, but we got to think about these things. Even from an early on point of view, the best you can get your head wrapped around it, the better. I would have preferred, again, I say but I'm just being honest. I would prefer this flower right here to be facing the other way. That's your like main. It's got a lot of stuff going on. Face it forward, lose this flower, maybe do some other sort of thing here. And then we have a big disconnect from this to this, right? I do like the fact that he thought about a circular shoulder. Let's put something on there, rounded, but it's tricky, right? And I appreciate you sending this in because we really can help look at your line work and maybe try to help you out here. But it's just, I kind of recall when my line work was here.
The line work needs help.
Rough. Yeah.
It needs help. I mean, that flower that you're on about that you said you'd have faced forward.
Yeah.
Again, we'll zoom into there. It's got black in the middle, which is all well and good if he wants to use black, but it's not in there either. That's not in there.
Oh, in real life, you mean?
Yeah. No.
Oh, you mean the black's not saturated? Yeah. Okay.
And then,
what you're saying.
Then you look at there. You're looking at them lines there. Look how many times some of them have been gone over a couple of times.
Yeah.
And the line weight's a lot thicker. Then you look at the ones to the left. The ink's in, and then on the tips of it, the ink's not in. So what happens then is when you colour it in, instead of the black being there, your colour's going to overpower where your line's not there, so you're going to lose it. But the line work needs help. It's not very well executed in the line work, and some of the needle sizing, the choice of the needle sizing is a bit poor. For this type of tattoo, especially around to the outside of some of the bigger flowers, what it was doing, should have really run a bigger line or a round shader, which would have helped.
And then some of these lines don't connect. You can tell, definitely, like you said, somebody went over. We got a bit of some blowouts here. So, man, that's a lot of tattoo for, maybe not quite ready for this kind of tattooing just yet. And it's tricky to know because I've seen some good stuff here. Now, this, from where I'm looking at it right now, Andy, I like it.
Right, you beat me to that one.
Yeah, from here, though, I don't know. We haven't gotten any closer, but from here, I'm like, hey, cool tattoo. I love the contrast of it. We have some colors happening here.
It's on the shin. It's up the front of the shin. The contrast between this person's skin and these colours and the colour choice from here makes it stand out.
Yeah.
Makes it readable. Now, we've said this, we've done this before. The proof is in the pudding when we'll move further in and we'll take, a closer look at this.
All right. I'm hoping, man. Come on, show me something good.
That's healing.
Yeah, I was going to say, this does not look fresh.
No, that looks like it's a day or two old.
Uh-huh. I mean, we're still having some inconsistencies in the lines. I mean, as we can see up here, I mean, most of these lines are actually very inconsistent, to be honest. I know they're small. I know that there's a bunch of them. And again, from a distance, you can get away with this. But we're trying to make it to where, the tattoo's a bit cleaner. and this lacks a bit of that. So even these small lines that don't seem to mean a whole lot makes a big difference, I've learned, if you can nail those lines, right? You can even make those lines a bit lighter too. You can hold back that needle just a little bit and just really work on trying to keep hand smooth, you know. But anyhow, I digress.
Yeah, I mean, that flower, that leaf there to left hand side, just to left hand side, top of, no, up one, Dave. That one, is that a blowout across top of it?
Yeah, I think so. It's got a bit of a haze. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to really tell unless it shows. So there's a few spots here that kind of look like maybe we're going a little too deep.
Maybe, but if you just pull away from this a little bit,
yeah.
If you just don't, just stop about that. What I really like about this piece, and what instantly stood out to me on this piece, is that top right hand flower.
Yeah.
That top right hand flower is the best bit. That one is the best bit on this. Maybe just punch the colour in a little bit more. This, that, and other. That's the crowning jewel for me. Out of all this tattoo, that's the crowning jewel, is that flower.
And think about if they'd added a third color, Andy, because this appears to me to only have two tones. And had they had taken that third tone, and I think it would have been like maybe a deep orange or like even a red, maybe. I'm not sure exactly, but punch that in down here, the darkest, or you could go the opposite and maybe have a light tone. But that third tone would have helped this piece a little bit more, I think.
Yeah.
But this portion, like Andy, I think you got it right. This spot right here is the best of what we've seen.
Yeah.
Period today on this particular person's work, this flower right here. So it shows you got it. You just got to get it a bit more consistent, you know. But hey, Haley, thanks for sending that in. Oh, gee, excuse me. Next up is Byron. All right, guys, we got too many pieces we're sending in here. So we're going to try to keep it to 3 pieces in email because we want to get to more people. Thanks for taking a look. This is from Byron. Thanks for taking a look. Working on simple designs on real skin. Tattooing now for a little over a year. Recently working on real skins. Thank you for the look. So simple designs, which I think is smart. You're on real skin. You've been tattooing now for a little over a year. Okay. Well, let's take a look. Hey, guys, give this stream a like. Don't forget to give the stream a like because, I don't know, just because. All right.
Because if you don't, we're not coming back next week.
That's what I guess. We're leaving, guys. I'm never coming back. All right. Yeah, all right. 1 year, huh?
1 year, what I'm saying. I mean, that straight line is pretty straight.
That's what I was looking at. I was looking at the lining in general, though, Andy. And, you know, I'm zoomed in a little bit, guys. This is a bit closer. I mean, if you were on this tattoo, you'd be like right here, okay? We're pretty close. Yeah. And I do believe this lining is pretty consistent. There might be a few deep spots, but hard to tell.
But what I will say is the lining on this one is pretty much, and it's not bad at all. And then you look at the bottom of the arrow, they're pretty consistent coming out.
Right.
The little fronds. What I don't like on this is the shading. The shade on this one, this person needs to work on the shading. Could have been run from black, drawn out into a lighter grey, or like we were on last week with that other person saying I only work in black, but his work were amazing. He could have worked in black and then just peppered it out,
right?
Which would give the industrial. But you look round the side of snout on lion, it's just a little bit grainy and everything, and across the top here, it's neither in or it's out in. But other than that, it's a small piece. The lining is not bad at all.
Yeah, definitely agree with you, Andy. Definitely agree. The shading's a little haphazard, a little like, let me throw some here, let me throw some there. Some thought put into it, but just not quite enough. All right, we got some dancing skulls. All right, this is, to me, this looks a little bit on the rough side. I mean, because it's probably going to heal a bit more and over time, get harder and harder to read. I don't know. I'm not loving this one. It looks a little beat, in my opinion.
Yeah, it looks a bit drilled.
Yeah.
It's looking a bit. You are, Dave?
Oh, go ahead, Andy.
No, I'm just saying some of these lines look well drilled. But what I am saying, that one on the right-hand side looks like it's got second skin on it.
It does. Yeah, you can see the bits. So I wonder if the one on the left they've had for a while. It's a
Would
bit
be.
peeled, and then went and had this one matched because this one the line looks a little bit thinner,
So
still wiggly and wobbly.
the
But
one on the left-hand side looks a bit drilled. You look
yep.
at the right hand as we're looking at it, where it's cupped, it's blown out in the cup. You know, where his hand's cupped here. If you're looking there, you've got
Oh
some
yeah,
blowouts
yeah, yeah. Oh, for
in there.
sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
you can see it. But top at Skull's head, they look like they've been running hard and fast. I'll be honest
Yeah,
with you, the machine looks like it's been running hard and fast on this.
for sure, man, for sure. I mean, that's a
Um,
bit rough. This one's backed up a little bit, no blowouts, but still looks a bit harsh, man. A bit harsh. So back it up a little bit there. But here we go. We have one very similar to the first one we looked at. From here again, I love the line weights. From here, I like these line weights, the thick, bold lines. It's a simplistic design, and I like the choice of line weight. This line right here looks like maybe we got a little off. You can see your stencil here. It looks like maybe you're riding the right side of that line and kind of tried to bring it back in and then picked it up probably right here or ended it right there again. That's the tricky part of these straight lines. Now, again, the thing about the calf is when they move it a little bit, from a distance, you might not notice that. But these are things that if I was looking at this, doing this tattoo, I'd be like, all right, Dave, you have one job that really, really matters. That line right there. The rest we're fine. We want to kill that straight line. The shading does look a little bit better in the fact that it just kind of looks like it flows a little bit more. But again, I think it's just there. It's not really doing a whole lot for the tattoo.
yeah.
A
I mean,
little bit tonal, but it works.
yeah, generally it's all good. Like you said, nice use of line weights. It's a simplistic design. Couple of places, like you say, you've got writing on it. But then again, I'm looking circles are pretty circular, just a couple. Diamonds are okay, triangles are okay. His curves and everything seem to be there. It's just again the shading is it's neither there or not there.
Yep.
On this one, but I'm sure they're still figuring things out.
Yep, I agree. I see just a little bit more blending, a little bit more fading, so that's cool. All right. Oh, excuse me. This is as far in as we can go. And you know what? This one looks like a solid little tattoo. I don't know. I think the black, does the black look saturated? I think it's there. It might just be the angle, but
yeah, it's a banger of a tattoo. But then again, it's round. The yin yang shapes are right. The two little dots on the yin yang. You've got the pyramid little peaks coming off it, and the sun stars. It's a banger of a tattoo. It's fairly clean, and yeah, I think this person is fine with this. He hasn't got lost, and he hasn't bit off more than he can chew doing it. And like I said, I'm sure this person's walked away fine with this one.
I think so too. I've been fine. If I ended the tattoo and looked like that, I'd be like, all right, cool. I mean, for what it is, again, same here. Same here from what I can see. There might be a couple little things, but overall, I'm not even really sure what it is. But
I don't know. I mean,
if that's what it's supposed to be, I guess it's there.
I'm not a fan of design, but a few little lines you can't really make out what it is. It's some sort of plant leaf or what.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It's just a little banger of a tattoo. Lines are in, it's organic, and that's all I can really say about that one.
Right. I'm just kind of moving a bit quicker through because I forget they send us a lot. Well, you know what, Andy? I think we have a little bit more like shading going on. It's a bit of a simple. I think maybe we're just pushing black or a dark tone, but it works here. It works enough to give us a little bit of something. I'm not in love with these little flame lines, and even these up here look a little harshly put in here, right? Like in our hand movement, our needle depth while we're moving, it's a bit bouncy maybe or something. Not sure what's going on there. Same with these antennas here.
Well, I think what it is, Dave, if you pull away from this and look at it from where
it looks good from here. I like it from here.
Yeah. And again, this person's going to have gone away happy with it. You get on top of it as it goes, probably a few things. Yeah, there is a few, but hopefully this person can actually see these few little bits with their own eyes. Yeah, them lines aren't quite as smooth as I'd like them. Like you say on the antenna, we pull one, one pass through.
Right.
Just still see there's a bit of hesitance, or they've not managed to stretch skin far enough, and that. But they seem to be figuring things out.
Yeah, I agree, man. They do. And again, thanks for having me back it up. Because sometimes you get some let's speak, babe. Some pictures allow you to zoom in way further than you should be able to. This one allows me to zoom in way too far. When reality, it should probably be looking at from about right here, right? This is respectably to the person. And yeah, we do still have some of those same things. But again, you're learning, this one, it's not bad, man. It's acceptable.
No.
But I like that they're working on these, line tattoos, something simple. They're relatively cleanish. I think you're doing yourself a service and your clients by being smart about it like this.
And it's covering them up properly when they're done. This, that, and other.
Right, yeah, he's putting some second skin on there.
Yeah, so it's covering them up well when he's done.
Definitely. Okay, Jeremy, what's going on, man? Another piece. Hey, everybody. Here's one I'm working on this weekend. Hope it's an improvement. Thanks for the look and tips, and good luck in Texas. Thank you, Jeremy. Looking forward to it. All right. You know what? Let me get up on this one right here. There's some. I really like these lips here, Jeremy. Like, we've been looking at your piece. Did I get
you? You stop going first. You always beat me to that.
Well, that one's. I really do. You saw them too. Those lips are a big improvement over time, buddy. And I like this little shadow in the nose here because I know you like to keep things light, but it's cool that you really went solid with that shadow. In the nose, the one thing, and again, I don't know what the stencil was, what the reference was, but this portion of the black right here kind of makes your nostril hole there look like it's a little bit long, but I love the little shadow under there. The eyes are getting better, man.
You know what I'm going to pick up on the eyes again.
Yeah, them eyelashes, huh?
Yep.
It's a little bit better though, Andy. I think he's getting a little bit more dainty with it, not solid black. Go ahead, man.
But like you said, there's a lot of things I quite like on this. That's from last week's Jeremy to this week's. Again, the lips, Dave. Yeah, they were the first thing that he made. They're beautiful. For his style, they're beautiful. The other thing I do like, if you pull away from it, so if we zoom out a little bit, that's it. I do like the chin area.
Right, that dark shadow.
I do like the chin area. It's soft. It's very feminine. You know what I mean? And I actually like the ears got some depth in it. It's got this showing this crease. It's showing the inner part. It's showing this rounder part here.
Yeah.
And the nose. I'm with you on the eyes. The eyes are getting better, but they're not.
I think it's all getting better. This is the best one I've seen, Jeremy, and I'm happy.
Again,
it's getting better.
Like I said to him, he's taken some artistic license, especially with eyelashes. The other thing with eyes is, which he's got over the top, you will always, and the top of your eyes, when you go into your eyes, will always cast a shadow into the whites of your eyes. Underneath, where he's got the eyelashes, you will always get a little bit of a shadow for that extra line there. But that's just me. And you know what would be nice on this? If you actually just took away from this and looked at his image and maybe, I don't know, took away, added to it, went on a bit of a creative artistic license, just did round ear, did round eyes, eyebrows, maybe tried adding a bit more to hair and finishing it off and resending it. It'd be nice to see.
Yes, refine this
a little bit piece. More. Try doing a bit more on this piece.
I agree. And here's the one thing I will say, Jeremy. If there was anything, if I were to look at this piece, and I'm no freaking, I really like the shirt down here too. I like that lines with the dark little shadows underneath. I think it's just this one eye, really, and it's the eyeball itself. Like I like most all around it. It's just for some reason, and I think it looks like you tried to maybe tweak it a little bit. It looks like it's a little bit flat, like not this much, but it's a little bit this way instead of this way, if that makes any sense. Just my opinion, man. And I think that you can easily fix that up in the future. But there's so many better things here.
It'd be nice for gentlemen to take away this week, and instead of submitting carry on working on this piece and try to,
Yeah.
and even if it don't work out, Jeremy, try taking it to the next level.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? Try taking some artistic license. Try taking it to the next level. Try using. You've got your reference, but then just try doing a few things yourself. Oh, I could bring that shadow out a little bit further and soften it off. I could work a bit more around eyes. Oh yeah, now I'm looking at it. Yeah, there's just a few more quiffs and curls in air that I could probably put in using some darker and some mid-tones. I just think it'd be quite nice.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's cool, Jeremy, is it's been awesome to follow this along.
Yeah.
And I really look forward to a year from now, man. 1 year from now, if you're still working at this, to be like, man, Jeremy, look how far you've come, because this piece tells me how far you've come, man. And it's been small progressions, but this one I'm digging, bro.
It's not. Is it think, Jeremy? Look, there's no problem. You're going to tighten it up. I mean, it's not a case of tightening it up. It's just a case of maybe just taking that step and trusting yourself and trusting your own instincts rather than just taking direct copy from an image. Try trusting your own instincts, Jeremy.
Yeah.
So add on to that reference to make it better and give it your own twist. You know, see if you can improve on the reference that you're working from. That's what we're saying, you know, it'd be nice.
Agreed, man. Cool, man, Jeremy. Excited, man. Look forward to seeing more. I know you're busy, like so many of us, you know. Get it in when you can. All right. Next up is John Elmore. Hi, Dave and Andy. Really enjoy watching your stream. I sent a few weeks ago and appreciate your response. The flowers I did a while ago on cheap skin. The other one I'm still doing. Always just a hobby. All right. If you're on fake skin and it's a hobby, totally cool, man.
Fair play.
Yep. Like, you know. Okay, let's zoom in here a little bit. Well, you know what? I see a little bit of promise in the lining. Not that it's perfect by any means, but I see some promise there. The shading looks like it's got a ways to go, you know, as far as that goes. But, geez, excuse me. But you know, and the lining still needs some work, man. It's still a bit here and there, but it's the best part of it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the cheapest fake skin. It's that really, really thin silicone rubber stuff. And what I'm going to say is these lines for the skin that you're using are not bad at all. And they're fairly consistent and they're fairly smooth.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's not, when I say fairly smooth, I'm not seeing a load of hesitation marks, you know, as you're trying to get your hand, you know, trying to pull it, you've actually gone in and committed and pull them lines round. I am with Dave. The shading has got a long way to go, and you're never going to. I'll be honest with you, you're never going to achieve any level of quality shading and lining on this skin. I've tried it.
Dude, it's so bad. Even he's got two pieces stacked. I don't know if he tattooed it that way. He even putting stuff behind him in. I have so much of this cheap fake skin still in my drawer back there. I don't even know why I'm holding on to it. I just throw it away. Some stuff is so thin. It's, what are we doing?
Yeah,
but you know, yeah. Get something that has, if you're gonna buy cheap stuff, which is nothing wrong with the cheap stuff sometimes too, just get it a bit thicker, like so you can actually get some depth in there. Now, unfortunately, here, Andy, you know all too well as well. I don't know what shading and what is just not cleaned off this fake skin. It's such a pain in the butt to clean this fake skin. Just, you know, I'm just not sure what's there and what's not. The lining, again, you know what? It's not the greatest, but you know what? It ain't terrible just yet. What's going on?
At you later. Sound, you beat me to it. I wish everybody had just listened. At you later. Baby oil cleans your skin.
Baby oil is the key to cleaning the fake skin.
Yeah.
It puts the baby oil on the skin.
That's it.
But that would definitely help you out. But again, I will say, since the lining is an improvement from the last piece, and maybe just keep working on the lining. Maybe don't worry too much about the shading just yet. Pack a little black. Send us some more so we can get a better idea of what we're doing. But hey, it's not horrible. We got Mary up next. This is probably Jason. I think Mary is Jason. The butterfly was something else someone did, and I reworked it. The rose Started last night. Wanted to show it going to finish Rose tonight. Yeah, I think it's Jason under his wife's account, if I recall from last week. The butterfly was something else someone did, and I reworked. Okay, so he reworked the butterfly, and he started a rose. Okay, let's see what we got here. Bam. Oof.
Oof.
That line
Ooh.
right there, man. I didn't get beyond that. My eye immediately went to that line. That is beat line. These lines are beat, brother.
They're
You're
going to
running
scar.
way too fast, moving your hand way too slow for how fast you're running. From
They
this angle, these
are.
look a bit better, but man, if you're doing this stuff, slow your machine down. If this color is not packed in here at all, because you're running that machine so fast that it's not getting any penetration time in the skin to really, plant that ink in there. But that's rough, brother. I appreciate you being consistent, but ouch.
Oh dear. Well, yeah, it's. I know you're reworking it, but unfortunately, like I said, I'm going to say I don't know what you've done to this tattoo
It's true too, man.
and
That's
what you've
very
reworked on it. But I'll be honest with you,
the next one is the
that bottom half, them lines, they're going to scar. They're raised. They're going to scar. And I don't know whether you've done them or whether they're all scarred.
Oh, he's saying this is the pick before.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, that's the pick before, because that green that's in it looks, like you said, looks shot. And if like I said, this is thing. So I'd like to, if this is the pick before, I'm not even going to comment on it. Let's move on to what he's done.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
This
too.
is somebody else's work, but that's absolutely wrecked with that.
Yeah, that last one for sure. Now, again, if the lining's not you, because here's the deal. Here's my opinion on this. Look, I don't know. It might be reworked, but these lines all look fresh. So if this must have been taken right after the tattoo is done, I'm guessing that or the lining was reworked here, and then the color was reworked here. I don't know. You can't fix that lining. I mean, unless you go over it, let it heal a long time, go over it with a thicker needle grouping, and then saturate this color. But that color, you can see the splotchiness in there. I mean, I know you got second skin over this as well, but
I mean,
red
that
looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that bottom lining wanted running with a 14 round mag, with a 14 round shader.
Yeah.
14 round shader, 9 round shader, 11 round liner. That it should have been gone over with that, because yes, the colours are more in there. There's looks to be and I don't know whether it's because the second skin's on or whatever.
Right.
What I'm saying is the colours look to be more in there. But what I'm saying is the first, unfortunately, and I know you've done your bit, but unfortunately, no matter whatever you've done to it, the first thing that you are drawn to is them lines.
Right.
So them lines needed to be tackled. Like you say, whether it were a 9 round shader, 14 round shader, 18 round shader to go over them lines.
Yeah, you just thicken them. You have to, if that's what you have to work
even
with.
If you took, yeah, or even if you took a 5 round liner or a 3 round liner and sculpted them and shaped them off, could have done it that way.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because as we look at it now, I can see all these bright colours that are put in and everything, but unfortunately, then I see the bad line work. And even though you fixed it and you fixed the colour, anybody else that looks at this is going to jump to the same conclusion: is, well, yeah, it got some decent colour in it, but by bleeding hell, whoever's put lines is really screwed the pooch. And then whoever this person is, oh well, I'm going to go to so and so and who have done it, and it's you that ends up getting crap for it.
Yep, that's it, man. That's it. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's see. What do we got here? I'm zoomed in a little bit, but I want to try to really take a look at these lines and see. These are an improvement, in my opinion.
Yeah.
These don't actually.
They don't actually look too bad at all.
They're not bad. I'm taking a look. I'm getting closer than I normally would, just because I want to really try to help you out, man. But compared to the other stuff we've seen, these lines are much better. The shading does not make a lick of sense, man. I see we got this blackness here,
it's not
but
finished.
It's not. I know it's not finished, but when you're, in my opinion, if you're going to do the color, I just don't think when you put the shading behind, and then put color over top of it, it just ends up looking muddy. If this is going to be color and you put that shading under there and then put the color over top, you end up with this like muddy look. Black will flow better up into color if that's what you're going with, but this isn't really black. It's like a gray wash of some kind. So if you're going to line a piece, line a piece. And then if you're going to color a piece, color the piece, right? That's just my opinion on the matter and how. But again, in choice of flower, maybe I'm being a bit of an a-hole here, but this has that cabbage feel to it.
No, I get you. I do get you, but it'd be nice to see this coloured finish, shaded or whatever. It'd be nice for you to finish it off. Is it Jason?
I believe it is Jason. He's been
right. It'd be nice to see you finish it off. Send it back in.
Absolutely, it'd be cool to see this finish.
You know what I mean? It's like I say.
Let's see what else you got, man. Oh, okay, here we go.
Well,
I'm even more confused.
That just went downhill, unfortunately.
Yeah,
for me.
I'm not sure. I'm just not sure what's happening here, man. And here's the thing: you can fix a lot of this on the front end. You know, maybe you have a reference, maybe you've colored this, maybe you've shaded this, and it's supposed to look like something you know. But looking at this here, it says to me, without knowing, that you didn't prep this, right? You didn't prep maybe what it's going to look shaded, all that, you know what I mean? It just kind of looks like you're just going with the flow of it. And that's a hard thing to do when it's on the skin in real time, you know? Prep time.
Just better give everybody an heads up. You better start behaving. Boss lady's in chat.
She is? Where? What?
Yeah. Boss lady's in chat, so y'all better behave. Although I should be kicking you all off.
Oh, there she is. Oh, dang, I didn't even see her. What? What do you mean she's in chat? Hey. Everybody on your best behavior.
Right. Before you open it, Dave, this one, if this is what I think she's sent in, right, with the lining, I've seen some of these. And I'm going to be interested because I could probably give her some shit over lining on these.
Well, I will open these up and let you take a look at them because my bladder's already screaming at me.
All right.
And I will say I was I saw some arculators work on Facebook or Instagram.
Doing some single pass with bigger line needles.
Overall, I thought, you know what I mean, doing good. But I didn't zoom in. I didn't do anything. I was a quick scroll by. I'm like,
I did.
Right on, looking good, man. You know what I mean?
I did.
I'll save the zoom ins and the looks for the live stream. So, Andy, I'm gonna read what we got. Ooh, I like it from here.
Oh no!
Yeah, I'm digging this. All right.
No, it's not what I'd seen. It's right. Done us over here because it's not what I'd seen.
No, the funny thing is I know this reference because when I first decided I was gonna start tattooing, I was like, all right, Dave, I used to draw a long time ago. Can I still draw? And I found this reference. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a skull since I'm going to get into tattooing. And I drew it. And I saw it just the other day. I thought, wow, that was okay at best. But I'm happy to see big progression in my own drawing ability. So nice work already. Let's read it. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm back. Hi, guys. Coming with an issue here. Oh, come on. And hoping you'll be able to help. Struggling with over-detailed pieces. It's taking me ages. Yes, it does. As they focus on every single tiny detail. Yeah, it does take time. What would be your approach with detail realism like this? If I had to be the same size as this, would you pick different design? Would you change it in graphic app? How would you pick what to leave and what to keep? What would you just go with it and spend 6 to 8 hours on it? Yes, that one. Personally, for me, I'm going to do my best. Best interpretation, 6 to 8 hours. The problem is the client's ready to quit at about 5.5 hours. And so most of the time they leave with an 85% done tattoo. In my opinion, I want another hour and a half to get that to 100, but I have to, sounds horrible, but I'm being completely honest, is I have to let them leave with an 85% done tattoo in hopes that they will let me get a little bit more time with that. But anyhow, I know it'll be faster in time. My issue is just fixation on details. I can't say if it's done or should I still work on it, sending pics and reference. I was trying to put less detail on the top part, so it's not exactly the same. Not Seeing reference is still okay piece, but I know that something is missing. All right, Andy, I'm just going to take a look at them. Oh, man, it's cool.
Cool.
All right, where do you want it?
I
Right
like
there?
it.
Is that good?
That's cool, is that?
All right, I'll be right back, man.
Yeah. So I mean, let's be right. I mean, first off, yeah, I didn't think it was going to be this piece that you sent in. I'd seen some other ones and that, so I proper got meant to be looking right tool there, didn't I? But what I'm going to say to you is, overall, this piece looks good. It's nice. You've kept the right amount of dark with the right amount of light. Looks like you're using a mag at last to get some shading. You're using black. Now, what I'm going to say to you, you're saying it's taking me too long. It's taking me too long. Now, yes, by the size of that pound coin, 6 to 8 hours on this, your client's not going to like you at all. At all. 13 bug pin mag. Wrong, not wrong with a 13 bug pin mag. You could even go to a 15, 7. I mean, I use 7s, 15s, 25s, all on bug pins. They're the only 3 that I use. But what I'm saying is, you've kept the right detail. You've left out the right detail. It's totally readable. It will sit well in the skin. The problem you're having, and you're just overthinking it, and you're having it's just confidence issues and time issues, which will come along on its own. The other thing I think, which may be, and I don't know, you might put me right on this, I don't know what machine you're using, because the other thing as well is, it depends on what machine you're using, will depend on how it will drive that ink into the skin. If you're using, let's say, I won't say cheaper machine, but if you're using a swash drive machine, I always find with a swash drive machine that they seem to always put ink into the skin a lot lighter, and with false skin, you'd have to do numerous, multiple passes, to get that deepness of tone. Whereas if you use a direct drive, it's a Mass Flip Pro, 2.5 stroke for shading. Yeah, maybe a bit soft, especially for that. Oh, wow. Mass Flip Pro, and if I'm 100% sure on the Mass Flip Pro, it's a swash drive machine, which they hit a lot softer. Don't like them. I had the Mass Fold Pro, even on a 4.2 millimeter stroke, it like a 2-year-old. It were awful. It was just so weak. The direct drive, and we've spoke about this, Dave.
Yeah.
And you're pretty much same. Direct drive machines, especially when you're on real skin, bang, they save you so much time.
Yeah, I love direct drive. I've only used direct drive.
Yeah. Now, I wanted a really small shade, which is fine. But when you're on real skin, you will get the shade. And I don't know how. The problem is, we're seeing this off you, and we don't know how he's shading. Because we can't, with you and with how you, and at the point that you're at now, it's like we can't stand over you, or somebody can't stand over you and see your technique, and that's what she's missing at this point.
Yeah, I think, and that's what a lot of us, if you're learning from home, you're learning on your own, you're doing this, that is the biggest piece that we miss out. I say we because I'm there too, 100%. You miss out on that. And so what you have to do is spend more time, watching people that you like their tattoos, right? If there's somebody out there on the grams or something, you really like their work, look at it. Maybe see if you can catch a clip of them doing it. There's tons of, or obviously buy as much content as you can. When it comes to this tattoo, Art Later, first off, right off the bat, I think it looks sweet. And if the reference wasn't there, I'd say there's nothing to complain about here at all. But I do get what you're saying. And the beauty of detail, in my opinion, this is tough detail too, but the beauty of detail, if you can get it, there's nothing worse, in my opinion, than a wide open skull, because then you just got to try to get the smooth shading to work. If you can have detail and things happening, then you can start putting cracks in the skull and problems. So detail can be fun, and it can take your work to a whole nother level. Well, down here at the bottom, I feel like This could have been a lot stronger, right? I see that you do have a little bit of stuff going on here, but I get what you're saying, getting a little lost in how do I make all these details happen? And that's where it comes down to. We have this open skin here. There's really no open skin unless it's like a highlighted area. This is all a shade, right? Various different little shades in there that take time to work up and get them to where you want them, right? Where we have open skin here. And you want to constantly be looking across your piece and trying to compare the shades and where you're putting them. So if I look up here on this piece, it's a bit lighter, right? We're thinking, okay, where's this shade to correlate? But over here, it's very dark. So if we would have taken that same shade and we come down here, now it's kind of light down here. You see what I mean? There's just those little things that you try to compare, right? You put a bit also right up here as well. I feel like this section right here could have been a bit darker. It would have helped it out a little bit, right? Just see how this comes down. We got this white highlight right here. Over here, it's still curling, right? Because it's not going like this. It's not concaved. We have like a convex curve, and we want the concave curve. So it's all those little things, right, that add up, and we got to keep running that, try to get that smooth shading, the different tones in there exact. But again, look, I've seen your work across the board, so many different things here, very vast array of things. I have no doubt that the more you do it, I mean, look what we're doing. You've gotten so much better. And I keep going, just pointing out a few little things, nitpicking for the sake of nitpicking. Same with these teeth. This is pushed back a little bit more, actually. Could be a little bit dark, even technically. But that's it. That's pretty much it. Try to find the darker tones and put those. If there's a mid-tone there, put the mid-tone in and leave these little bits of opening right here. Boom, boom, boom. Fine. Okay, this is pretty much all mainly one tone. Boom, boom. Leave these openings, hit my darks, and move on. But anyhow.
I mean, like I say, I mean, I was pretty much, I mean, I felt she'd taken enough out of it, out of the original, and kept it and done a good job. Now she's using 5 tones. Don't, if you can, and wherever you can, try simplify your tones. If you can work with 4, work with 4. Do you know, instead of going feeling that you got 5 tones set out and you're having to in, out, or which tone, because otherwise you'll get lost really quick. And some of your tones can actually be so close. The more tones you've got out, before you know it, you can end up with every tone being so close together.
Yeah, can be.
Then it's like, which one shall I use now? And the other thing is, you're on about the speed. The speed, like I was saying to you earlier, like the thing, because we can't actually stand over you and see what you're doing and now see your technique as you're actually pulling these processes off. We don't know whether you're just, for a dark area, just going brush, 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 brush until you've got, you know, your dark area in, or where it's solid black and you can actually do a circular motion so far out and then start brushing it out because to work it out. We don't know. And the other thing, forgetting it, we don't, if you're just going out in one direction like that all the time, it takes a lot longer than if you're going like that, then you go across in this direction and you go across in that direction to actually fill it in.
Yep.
So this is what's hard now, and this is the point that Artulator's got herself to, and she's got herself to a really good point. I mean, I'll be honest, I'd wear that.
Oh, absolutely. Let's be honest. I mean, we are being honest, but we're trying to show a few things because there's so much potential here. But this is an awesome tattoo. Again, you were very ballsy. You did not have to send it with a reference, because without a reference there, but like, it's sweet. It's awesome. You know, you show a reference and we can be like, oh, there could be these other little things. But overall, fantastic. I love it. I'd wear it too, Andy, all day long, man.
Anytime. If you're in the UK, just send me a message, and that you can sit there and rock some out, and I'll help you out wherever I can. You know what I mean? So it's just learning tricks at trade now for Artulator.
I will say, when it comes to the using the mags and whatnot and that pendulum motion, it can be a little tricky when you're pushing your needles. Okay, when you're going like pushing, boom, this way, it's more intense, right? This is a bit more of an intense. Even if you're here and this is my motion here, This is a bit more intense. So sometimes I might move a little bit quicker this way. And then on my way back, slow it down just a tiny bit, right? So it kind of evens those strokes out, because if I'm consistent this way and I'm consistent this way as I move across, let's say, I know that it's a bit more intense this way. Boom, pushing on the skin, where drawing back is a little less intense. So just little things over time you'll watch. If you're feeling a large area, take your time and see, slowing down. I talked to Joey Boy a few weeks. Joey Boy, he's in the chat. Month ago or so, and he suggested taking a volt off my machine. I did. I slowed my hand down. I trusted myself a little bit more, and I've enjoyed it a bit more. Even the piece we just did the other day, I did a lion and a cub, and I really love it. And I really took my time and slowed my hand down, and was very pleased with the end result.
See, there's one other thing as well with the shading. Like you've said there, Dave, if you're going in and you're pushing your needles out and you're slowly bringing them back, if you went to get a softer tone as you're going out, turn your machine round. Turn your machine round so that you're pulling it. As you're going outwards that way, you're dragging.
There you go.
Needles.
Yeah, that works too.
You're not pushing them. You're dragging them, so it will automatically be softer into skin.
Mm-hmm. Yep. If you want it soft, pull back on your mags. Pull.
Good luck though.
Away from you. Nice. All right, Julio Rodriguez. Let me scroll down here so I can read what you have. Hey, Dave, Army veteran Julio here. Been keeping up with your channel for. Excuse me, guys. I had a burp. For Justin, a year now, just under a year now, I'm guessing that says. Even tattooing for 2 years, mostly on weekends since I have a full-time job. Everyone loves my work, but I would like some professional opinions. Okay, so Army vet, okay. Thank you for your service, my friend. 2 years, mostly on weekends. I get that. It definitely was similar for the first year since I have a full-time job. All right, let's see what we got, man. Let's see what we got. Okay, we got a hand tatty here. Let's zoom in and take a look. All right. It's a little bit of some lineage going on right there. But again, the hand skin is some weird, freaking tough skin. It can kind of vibrate that machine around a little bit. It's not bad. It's not bad. I wish it had a little bit, maybe a background to it, maybe some shading going behind it, maybe help it push it forward a little bit. Yeah. I don't know. The white seams in there solid. White on hand can be hard to really make stay. There's a chance. The shading works. Could it be cleaned up a little bit more? Yeah, but for only getting the tattoo a little bit on the weekends, I think it's fine. Any you want to move to the next one, Andy? You good on that one? Or
I'm just replying to some of it.
Oh, okay, no problem, man. I'm gonna jump to the next one here. Oh, okay, a little color piece here. Now here's the problem with this piece, and then the lines are showing hard to me. This is overworked. These lines are also overworked, and they're blown out. We got blowouts along the top here. Got the blowout along here. What I like is that you're trying to keep a consistent, thick line throughout, but you're just going a little too harsh, whether it be, you just slow down, pull your needles back a little bit, or speed up if you have to. But needles are getting causing some blowouts here and there. This white in here is in his face is not going to be there, in my opinion. It's just kind of drug along there, which, reads to me that, again, it's not going to last. But some of these other spots of white might last. I'm not a fan of how he shaded this down here. Pack this blue into this. Again, when you're packing color into gray wash, it just looks muddy, right? So we want to, in my opinion, is shade it right there. Don't put some gray wash in there and then go back over top of it. Build your tones up right there. If you want a dark, take that blue and dip it into a darker tone, like a brown or something. I mean, use some color theory, if you will, and work that and bring that across while using gray wash. It overall just helps, in my opinion. Any thoughts on this one, Andy?
No, it's like I say. I mean, the overall look of the piece is not a bad look. And you've like they've used, for me, the bottom of the bowl, where they've used that grey wash with this really light blue. It's just really, really dirtied it up.
Right.
it's overpowered it, like they've gone over top. They've put it in wrong way around. They could have used a lighter grey. They could have even used grey under the blue, just if they wanted just to darken it up, but use a colour and then gone over it with the colour. For all, I mean, most of the lines look all right. There's some of them that look, shall we say, there's a couple that are on the edge of being blown out, some are blown out, but some of them look quite heavily put in. I'm just looking at the red, you know, how harsh the red is around, especially the top of the bowl and a bit of the chopstick.
Oh yeah, I can zoom down here. Yeah, and like you see these harsh lines here in the
you can just see it with that little bit of redness. I mean, overall, what I will say, aesthetically and everything, and that it's not about it's not bad. I mean, we've seen so much worse than this. I mean, they've gone into using colour, and yeah, the colour palette is quite simple, but it just seems to work for this piece, to be honest. It's just I can't get away from. It's like the jumper with the dark grey and the blue. You've lost a lot of the colour in it. Same with the bowl. You lost a lot of colour in it, and that's just what's detracting from it for me. And that on it, but and I think they've tried packing face in white, and I don't think it's all in there.
Agreed. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, we've got some crosses, and these are pretty straightforward. As long as you saturate them well, and this particular style tattoo, you know, this is fine in my opinion.
Yes, I mean they look pretty bulletproof, to be honest. Though, crosses, they look fine. There's no real line work on them. I mean, they can all be achieved with a mag. You just using a straight up mag,
right?
But they are what they are. I've seen it so many times, but they do look well. They do look okay.
Yep, I agree. So overall, Julio, not bad, man. Looking forward to seeing you continue to progress, sense more in the future, and we'll give you some feedback, man. All right. Next up is Constandola. I can't pronounce names, man. Hi, mate. Hope you will like these. I'm gonna call Dolata, or Con, whatever. Sorry, I don't mean to butcher your name and just suck at reading, I guess. We're zoomed in a little bit on this particular piece right now. Keep that in mind. But yeah, you know, I don't think this is too bad. They're using a small needle grouping. It's on the side of the neck. The side of the neck, it really sucks.
Skin's crap.
Yeah, and there's a few spots that might be blown out, but again, using a small needle in a small area. I don't want to get too nitpicky about it, but it could be cleaned up a little bit. But again, I mean, it's on the side of the neck. You know what I mean? Okay, well, this one we can be a bit more honest about because it's on a forearm, and that's pretty much the best place you can tattoo.
And
I am not digging whatever kind of shading. No. I don't like these leaves. It's a very odd choice of leaves, but let's say that's the one you had to have. All right. But the shading in them all is exactly the same, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. The shape of this
compass
is a little off. I don't know what's happening.
It looks like half of it's turned one way and other half's turned another way. It looks twisted. You know, the perspective of that compass is off. And I'm with you. I'm not a fan of the leaves. I'm not a fan of the vine work. The vine work looks like some black, thin tribal. And that's just for mine on the design. And
definitely.
I'm not a fan at all. I mean, from what I can see, the line work,
it seems all right. I mean,
it seems to be in, but
it's the best thing going on here.
The shading's wrecked this, unfortunately. Very tonal, very monotone. There's no definition. And then that inner line on that compass, when it goes from thin to super fat there, that's it. You got it there, Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, the compass is out of whack, but it's very one noted, and the shading, unfortunately, has let this down.
Yep,
you know,
I agree, man. Let's see what else. Okay, I'm gonna get a little look-see here. Might be too far in for. All right, we still got some lining inconsistencies here. It seems to be some lines are a little harsher than others. We gotta take our time with every line. I mean, granted, even today, just because I take my time doesn't mean I'm gonna get them perfect, obviously. But I feel like a little bit more attention to every single thing you're doing because I don't know, man. Like, what is this sort of shading we have here? These lines in here. It's not terrible or anything. It's just I think you're doing more than you should be doing. You're
Yeah, I
doing
mean,
yourself a disservice here.
yeah, I mean, this is again maybe just dial it back and work on some smaller pieces that are not you're not going to get overwhelmed with. 'Cause I agree with you. Some of the lining seems to be okay. Some of the lining seems to have got away from you on this, and then you've got areas where you haven't actually committed, as if to say, well, these little lines, am I putting them in? Am I lightly putting them in? Do they want to be in grey? Are they
Right.
in black? Should this area be black? Should this area be grey? And also, then we've got little bits of shading gone in that look like stipple shading, but are quite stipple shading, unfortunately. And like I say, there's just so many little things that aren't right on this from a tattoo point and a tattooist's point of view that unfortunately
Yeah.
it's making this look, like you say, it's making this look out of whack as if you've unfortunately bit off a little bit more than you can chew at this point. And like
Yeah.
we said, maybe better just dialing it back. I mean, you pull away from it, Dave,
Oh yeah, sure. From like way
and
back
you
here,
can
it's like,
see,
oh.
but it's once we get on top of it. And unfortunately, you see, when you'll tattoo a client, and you'll have had it, you'll tattoo a client, and when you're done, you
Yeah.
go to your new tattoo, they go, no, and they go, oh, yeah, it's great, it's this, that, and other, you know what I mean? And they walk
Right.
out over the moon. And then next thing you know, 3 days later, a week later, when they've actually finished healing or whatever it is, and they've had time to start scrutinising it, or the mates have been over it and they've gone like this or whatever, then they
Yeah.
start coming back to, well, should this line be like that or should this be like that? And then you're either having to say, well, no, it shouldn't, or yeah, it should, and you don't want to explain yourself. So it's just something
Yeah. You
you've
don't want
got
to
to
have to
bear in
do
mind.
that to a client. You don't want to have to try to, you know. I get it. Maybe some things heal a little funny sometimes, but you don't want to put yourself in a position where you got to try to convince a client that everything's going to be okay and whatnot. Um, Not really digging the blue in there, but I do actually like from like a color standpoint the black and gray, and then this blue in there. It kind of looks cool just aesthetically, but again, the shading in here it feels a bit flat. There's really no definition we're getting out of the shading in the face. We're not really getting any, like I said, definition. There's no depth in it and whatnot. So, and it's real scribbly, even up through here, real scribbly, like it's a round shader round liner. We just kind of scribbled it in there. So that take your time, attention to detail. It's going to take time in the beginning. This tattoo, a tattoo might take you 6 hours. That in a few years might only take you 2.5 hours, 3 hours, half the time.
Yeah,
But don't worry about that at first. Just take your time and try to do the best job you can.
that lightning would have been nice in UV blue.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Although on thing of UV,
Yeah.
don't ever buy mum's invisible UV ink.
Uh-oh, what's the deal?
It's crap. Don't stay around. I've put it in about 8 or 9 people now.
Mm,
Don't stay. The colours do. Colours stay brilliant.
wow.
The invisible is basically invisible. Once revealed, it's gone.
Wow. That stinks, man. I'm gonna have to go
Yeah.
back. I have all the footage for like a UV video I was working on months ago, back when we were talking about UV stuff, Andy, and I have UV ink in my legs, so I should probably put that video together and just give my thoughts on it. I don't use
Yeah.
it. I don't use
It's
it.
I
I
won't
don't like using it, but it's in
don't
my leg, and I
recommend.
think it's doing good, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't recommend the mum's nuclear garbage.
Yeah.
Absolute garbage. Don't hang around.
I have some UV ink, and every time the client catches a glimpse of, oh man, is that? Like, I pretty much try to quickly get away. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. I have that just for YouTube purposes. And it's not even that I hate it or anything, Andy, personally. Maybe the brand went up, but I just don't want to mess with this stuff in the skin long term. I don't know. Like, I just want
It's
a tattoo to tattoo.
yeah.
And
It's I'll tell you what I do find with it as well compared to a normal ink. Very watery.
right. I mean, it's saturated all right. I didn't have any issues.
Mm.
I don't know. I just don't want to be messing around trying to have a freaking UV light on tattooing. And it's just not for me. But to the right people, I think it
That's
could be.
why I think I prefer colours because you don't need UV light on.
Exactly.
It's just
Right.
like colouring a normal ink. It's
Uh-huh.
but the invisible I've probably put in about 10 people. It's garbage.
Let's see. We got Layla.
Right. I'm just going to
Hey
take a pit
guys.
stop.
I like how. Yeah, go ahead, Andy.
Yeah.
I like how people put they know I can't say their name properly. So like Layla. Thank you. I submitted a couple of months ago. This is my work so far, starting from the flower one to Jesus. Would greatly appreciate some feedback. I will give you some feedback whether it is what it is. All right. Well, from here, I'm like, all right. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Well, I do like most of the lining here. There are some spots where I feel like if it were in the skin, it would be a little bit harsh, but we're on fake skin, thank goodness. Um, to me, it looks like we used one tone, which is fine with this particular style and what you're doing here, in my opinion. We used that red, saturate that red, and then use the hand motion, hand speed, and that whip out to give a bit more of like a softer look as it goes through. I like it. I like that you did go back through with a little bit of black here, and put it in some of these depth spots here. Maybe even a little bit more. Maybe I would have tried it out on the tablet or paper first. Been like, I like that. Let's do it. Or no, I don't. And then not do it, whatever the case may be. And then when it comes to the leaves, you also went with a black and what appears to be, it might be a little bit of a wash here whipped out nicely. You're going to want to connect stuff. So we want to make sure this line, like right here, down here, is connected or at least looks like it's flowing underneath. But yeah, I kind of dig this. It kind of gives you a lot of work on thick lines. And yeah, not too bad, man. It's on some fake skin. Well, what else we got here? All right. Here we go. We got a little bit more going on in the shading portion. I do like this. I see we have dark up here, and this is not black. You have a darker or mid-tone of gray here. I like the blend we have here. Flows down pretty nicely. We have variation of things here. We got some stimpling and what appears to maybe be a bit more of a saturated portion up there. I like the softness in the center of the body here. The line work looks all right, a little light in a couple spots, but overall, I quite like it. Not too bad. All right, here we go. We're seeing like I'm personally seeing a flow in your black and gray work here. It's definitely getting a lot softer and smoother. I like it. Definitely got a lot of definition. I can see what's happening. The shadows are nice. The blacks are real solid. Variations in the tones to really sell the shadows, so you know those are shadows. And I think that the lining probably is what needs a little bit help, if anything. Be the lining. Still dig the bold line around a lot of it, and then the thinner lining inside of it. Nice. Oh, this is cool. This is just solid, saturated black. Dang, that black is saturated. Again, lining is pretty stinking good. I like the consistency in lines throughout. The back here, the forehead is smooth. We got some smooth shading coming off of it. You know, it's a lot of black. This would be a fantastic cover-up piece. Cover something up in here, in here, in here. You got so many spots to cover stuff. But that black is solid and saturated. Let's see what our next. Okay, here we go. See, I'm seeing more saturation of tones. Before it seemed like it was a bit more of like a whip stimpling you had going on. And here I'm seeing more. Let's take that tone, let's saturate that tone and run it out. I like it. I think for me in this piece, if you'd have grabbed a little bit of that black from the last piece and threw it here in the depths, we'd be looking at a totally different tattoo, in my opinion. If there was black right over here behind this hair kind of coming out, I see you have another darker tone. maybe just sell it as black. Little black back here, pushing the face forward a bit. You know, these little depths. I say it often, but that's what I would have done here. And I kind of like the crown of thorns being open, no shading, no nothing in them. If the tattoo had a little bit more black in and around it, that would have taken it to the next level, in my opinion. Let's see. He says, I'm still working on the last one. Awesome, man. Put a little black in there. Trust yourself. Have fun with it. But I think this is going to turn out to be a real banger, man. Hey, Layla, fantastic work overall. Looking good. All right. Mauricio.
Marisol.
Thank you, Andy, saving me, Marisol. Oh gosh. All right, there's no information here, but we will take a look. Okay, well, they're on fake skin, and it is a very small tattoo considering this tattoo machine right here. Well, I mean, there are some lines in here that I think look all right, not too bad, but I can also see that we had to go over these lines a few times to really smooth them out, nail them out. And but there are some in here that were done well. The shading I'm not really a fan of. It comes across a little bit muddy because it's not consistent. If you're going to do this, come back and cross hatch this the other way. Boom, 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 and try to bring that up if that's what you're going for. A little bit on the dark side. I don't know. Any thoughts on this one, Andy?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like you say, there's inconsistency. It is a small piece, but you can see the inconsistencies in the line work. Now, some of them you can get away with when it's fatter and thinner and that, but I would just like to see them a bit more consistent, a bit more smoothed out.
Yeah.
In places. But like you say, the shading on this needs work. Like I say, just smooth out, cross hatch it, smooth it out in places. Punch a bit of black, just bring it out into a lighter shade in different areas. Just work on your lights and your darks, your tones, your artistic values, for want of a better word,
right?
Within the piece, which will give it the dynamics that a tattoo should deserve.
Right on. Right on. Thank you for sending that in. Next one up is Jason. Jason sent in quite a few. All right, Jason, let's take a look. Bam. All right. Hey, I like the contrast in this personally, Andy. That rich, solid black, and then we have this bit of a softness bringing it out. I like that effect you have here. It's pretty harsh around the outside in that it's very, very stiff. If you could, if you had the chance or the opportunity, maybe come back and just try to pepper that out a little bit. In my opinion, unless this is exactly what you're going for, then, obviously leave it the way it is. Dark, solid black, really light shading mixed together. That's all that's going on here. And I think it works all right. Let's see. I was trying to submit in a hurry. Thank you. All right, no problem. All right, let's take a look at the next. Ooh, I like that rose right there. That looks nice.
Yeah, that's a right old rose. Is that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice, especially from like right here. It looks nice.
Well, it should be.
Yeah, that's where you should
be looked at.
Exactly. Well, let's take a look at this lining. And, again, this particular one from here, I quite like. From here, when you get a little bit closer, and this is mandala work, you really put yourself out there to see it all. I know what you're going through. But what I do like, Andy, is that for the most part, just glancing at this, all the parts are symmetrical. You know what I mean? Nothing to me right now, nothing's jumping out to me saying like, hey, this particular piece right here is a different shape than this one here. They all seem to be the same shape. I mean, some might not have as pointy of tips, but not too bad. I don't know if there's some blowouts here, Andy. It kind of looks like throughout here.
It looks like there's a few blowouts. It looks like they've wanted to get this in one pass and gone a little bit heavy in places.
Right.
But I'm with you. Mandalas, this person's put themselves out there with this. I mean, you could have put a lot of dot work in this and, and some heavy black shading and some grey shading, dot work loads in, but you haven't. You've sent it as it is. Where we look at it, is the parallel lines and everything are pretty much there, because we've seen some horrendous mandalas, that
Yeah.
have come through. The only thing, and I will be honest, the only thing that hit me in a bat on this one, Dave, and it stood out like a sore thumb and hit me just like that as you opened it up, go right to the top,
Yeah.
and there's that one line on the left-hand side at the top that's been double banged, that's twice the width of every other single line that's there. And,
that one right there, huh?
And unfortunately, you see, and I know it might seem, yeah, you've been nitpicky, you've been an asshole again, Andy. You know what I mean? And that, and I ain't living shit. Fuck, get off, that type thing. But that's just the one thing that caught my eye straight away.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's always, even when I look at my stuff, my own work, it's like, God, you can love so much, but it's like, why did I have to make that one stupid spot or not fill that in?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't see it until you take a photo. So a new thing I started doing is, so when I'm about 85% of the way through the person surviving the tattoo, I'll take a photo of it and I'll throw that up on the tablet right next to my reference. Boom, I can see both of them. While we're on that little break, I'm looking at both of them next to each other going, aha, I need to pull that black down. I need to bring that light shade up. But you can't see it so well when you're looking at it on the skin. But when you take a picture of your work, put it right next to your reference on an iPad or something while you're on a little break there, you can see what's going on. And then you can also take that photo you just took and convert it to black and gray. So it takes the redding away and everything. You can see your true tones the way they are. And you can also see what's going on. And that help you attack that last bit of the tattoo. And I guess the only other thing that's kind of bugging me a little bit now that I look at it would be these circles on this center portion, right? So, but again, if you look at it from here, you're all right. But you're going in the right direction. Let's see what else we got. Move along. Oh man, I love these flowers.
Oh, wow.
Dang. I just like this light, soft style. I don't really. This isn't anything I do this exact way, so it's cool to see something like this. I really like it.
Yeah, nice. It's nice, soft, gentle work, and in the style it's in. I mean, I'm going to come away from them. I'm looking at the lily further down, and I love that. That's just further down the arm.
Yeah, right here.
That lily, it's got the right amount of black. It's got the right amount of light tones, mid tones, white. You can see the curves, the curls, the folds in the leaves and everything. And that's.
And what's cool is we have a healed one next to a fresh one, so we can really see that they did age, at least healed, relatively nicely. Again, I like this. The reason this works is it has nice smooth shading on the inside. It's smooth and soft, and you have to use light tones to get soft shading. I know a lot of people want to just use black or really dark and move their hand real fast. You will deposit less ink in the skin in the form of less like dots, if you will. But if you want a soft shading, you can do that same technique if you want, but you have to use a lighter tone in order to achieve the softer while still saturated look. And again, we got a real heavy dark around the outside. Aside from that, being pretty solid. Maybe again try to blend that out a little bit, maybe, so that way if you put something else there, you can blend it in, whatever. But compared to the other stuff here in this photo, I'm imagining you did this on yourself. There's the piece we looked at before over here. Be careful. Some of this black looks a little bit beat, so you might have hit it a little hard. I'm sure it'll probably heal okay, but anyhow, those are my. Sorry, Andy. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like this piece. I mean, it's like you said, got sort of black and that, some nice soft shading. If it had adopted, and it's got some nice token shading within the piece showing it. Now, if it had taken some of the tones that it used in the roses and the lilies and smoothed that shading out just a little bit extra and a bit further on this screen mask.
That's a good point.
I think it would have just taken it to another level. Is it a bad tattoo? No, it's not. I just think if it could have adopted some of the techniques that it used in the flowers and done it within this mask,
Yeah.
just to push it that little bit further.
Right.
I think it would have been an absolute stellar piece.
Heck yeah. All right. All right. From here, I like the lettering going on. That seems pretty solid. The black appears solid. Then let's see what happens here. All right. Yeah. All right. The lettering pretty solid. Not too bad here. But the black in here is nice as well. But I like these. The black they put in these like hoops in the. Obviously, don't know exactly the terminology there. But I think the problem for me here, and I wouldn't say it's per se a problem, but I wish, Andy, like you said before, that they had used a bit more tonnage, right? It's like pretty soft throughout all here. It's pretty soft throughout all here. Maybe push a little bit of like a mid-tone in there a bit more. And the lining, it kind of passes, but the problem here is this bit right here. It's got to be this smooth, arcing piece, but we end up getting this like dip in it. And I guess you could probably try to sell the case that this is like some sort of a shield and it's beat, but I don't know about that. Just a bit too many inconsistencies right there. But there's some good stuff happening here. We got the dark, and we got the light shape. Just got to try to find a little bit of that in between.
Yeah, I mean, for all intents and purposes, I'm with you there, Dave. Just on that shield at the bottom, it gets a bit monotone. Could it just done with a hint of a few different shades? I won't say a load, but just a few different shades. Like you said, that line, that set of lines that goes over the shield are pretty much not there. They're pretty much wrecked of them lines. What I should have done, if you could have seen it, it could have worked them lines to look better by running a bit of shading off here and there, dark shading, to hide the worst spots on it. But again, this is where we've gone over it each week, and it's like if you go into the helmet, you've got a band coming down the helmet with two lines on.
Mm-hmm.
Them lines aren't the best. And then you go to top at Colosseum, that's got a set of lines coming through it. They're not the best. Now, this is what we say every week. I mean, can you see if you look at the top of the Colosseum, you've got four lines running across above his helmet, and they're far from the cleanest.
Right.
Yeah, far from the cleanest, and this is what we say every week. It's okay doing sub pieces and this, that, and other. But you've still got to be able to do your fundamentals.
Nice, when you see somebody saturate solid black and get smooth, soft shading, it's like, all right, you just got to wheel this thing together. You just got to start pulling it together here, tighten a few things up. Yeah. And I think we're going to have some like next level, right? You're ready to level up. It's just like, just got to kind of get a few things together and it'll be there, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. This was a rough reference to work off of. I don't know what's up with the photo. It looks like green here. Maybe it's, a better photo than this in real life. But
I'll be honest, I wouldn't have even taken that on from that reference.
No, I wouldn't want to work with this reference. If this is the reference,
I wouldn't have taken this on from that reference because the reference ain't good enough, to be fair. And unfortunately, when I look at the reference and I look at the finished product, although they have similarities, I don't see the same. I don't sort of like see the same thing. It's a loose. To me, it's a loose reference of it, and it's very lacking and lackluster. But the reference, again, isn't very good to go off.
Yeah, it's a tough. There's still some serious differences between them, even if this was what you're going off of. But here, if somebody sends you a photo. And they I've had some portraits in the past or some faces, different various backgrounds and stuff, but mainly faces for this particular app. If you have issues, the piece is a little blurry, somebody sends you something, it's a little If you get the Rimini app, I think it's free. You just got to watch an ad every time you use it, but throw it in Rimini, let it digitally refresh the photo. It's going to smooth stuff out, clean stuff up. It's going to be a big help. So if this photo was sent to me, I would immediately just throw it in Rimini, let it run its thing, see if it will smooth some of that out. Again, I don't know if it's really green in real life, might be the way the photo looks, but cool, man. Appreciate it, Jason. Next up is Tyler. Tyler said, could you let me know what you think about this one? I've been practicing for about 6 months now and did this on my sister. Okay. I'm extremely proud of the outcome, but I still have much to work on. Thank you guys for all you do. Okay. All right. All righty. Well, let's look at some lining here. Okay. You know, the lining, from what I can tell, Andy, some of these long swoopy ones, they look pretty consistent. There might be a few that are a bit bolder or a bit more drilled than others, but I think it's really just comes down to this shading in here, huh? It's a bit. We do have black, but it's just not smoothly being drawn out, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, I get where you're going, and I mean, obviously it's holding some sort of globe ball or whatever, and there could have been so much more shading done within that. The hand, the glove, and everything. I'll be honest, for me, like you said, Dave, the shadings. It's neither packed. It's not packed. It's not shaded. It's neither one or other on that. That'd have been great to use true greys on, blacks and true greys. You know, you could have done so much with that hand.
Oh,
using blacks and true greys.
Got a lot more definition in there.
Yeah, and got so much more definition in it. A lot of the lining is in there, and there's just a few that aren't. Circles, bane of a tattooist's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just not going to bother with that.
Man.
But the main thing for me is the hand. There's no definition. I know it's a hand, and I can see that there's some shading colour in it. It just needs to think about their shading, the tones that they're going to use, and if it's a glove, it would have more folds, wrinkles, and creases in it.
True. Yeah, and you could really play into those by defining those a bit more with solid black, right? But I mean, at least they didn't put some really bad tattoo on your sister. This shading up here is, you know, as you can see, all these little rake marks. It's quite light. I don't know that's really going to do a whole lot for the tattoo, even when it heals. No, so at least you went light and not too harsh. Spend a little bit more time working on that shading.
It's not going to be very smooth. You can see a lot of rake, and it's not going to be very smooth at all.
No, that's the process. But you know what? You didn't, butcher your sister or anything. That's good. Kenneth, been on practice skin a lot lately. Wanted to go back on real skin to apply what I've learned and self-taught. Loving the experience, and I can't wait to hear what y'all have to say. Thanks again, guys, and excited about listening and learning from your critiques. All right, so Ben, you've been on practice skin a lot lately. Wanted to get back on real skin. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay. All right. Well, from here, I like the placement of it. It works. All that jazz. I like the little white spots in it too. I think for just like just a banging tattoo, I think it works out. But the problem, which I'm pretty sure we're going to see, is when we get a little bit closer to this tattoo, we're going to see lines that are just punched in a little harshly, maybe a little overworked, maybe scarred a little bit. You can see it from here. Just might be, you kind of, in my opinion, you see it here, a bit here, down here. Like these just look like they've been just drilled a little harsh. I could be wrong. Same here, but from here, it's like, all right, yeah, not too bad, man. But again, up here, that looks, some of these lines look harsh, man, a bit heavy. Slow your hand down, back your machine, or back your needles up a little bit, potentially. Mainly slow your machine down, if I can get words out of my mouth. What are your thoughts, Andy?
Yeah, well, I think they're in chat.
It's a cover-up. I didn't realize that.
So it's a cover-up.
Still the same. I mean, there's no cover-up.
Yeah, but what I'm going to say is, first off, the placement and how it goes and it comes across the shoulder. I like the placement. I like the direction it goes in. The other thing, one thing I am going to say, and I understand it's a cover-up, and I'm assuming this is a lady that's got this on them, female, that this is a heavy tattoo for a female to carry off.
It is.
It's heavy lines, heavy black. And I know it's a covered up and you want to use black, but it could have been done, you know, how can I put it? Could have been done a little bit more delicate, you know, feminine wise. But other than that, detracting away from that, in the middle, it's quite simplistic. Like Dave says, I think we are going to see problems, and I can see a few, especially within the writing and the names. Some of the lines just don't seem to be crisp, and they look like they're worked in, and it could have done with just being tidied up a little bit better. You know, on some of the line work and everything, especially the names. And I know we could see the names, but I think if we were drawing further and further see it, I think that's where you're going to start then see the problems of bits of lines being in, too far in, just in, maybe a little bit light and not quite smooth enough for it. The other thing I'm just not a fan of, and personally just not a fan, is the centre. How the centre's been done, and I know they say it's covered up, but then you've got like all these that look like little scales,
right?
You know, that's running around the centre of it. Just for me, as on a personal note, just look a little bit off for the design. And like I say, I think other than that, they could have done a little bit more with the shading. You know, raked it out and feathered it out, and where they're coming down the sunflower leaves, petals, and they've drawn a line. They may have been better using edge of a mag and coming down, so you know it just gives that little whip off and just little feather off at the end. It's not quite as harsh, you know. A line, it looks like semi-shaded.
Well, let's see what we got next. All right, some butterflies. And from here, I think they look quite nice. Yeah. Again, it's a little pixely, so it's hard to see exactly, but I think it looks all right. The black looks saturated. The blue looks like it's whipped out, you know, a little bit, giving a little bit of, you know, blend, if you will. A couple white spots. I can't really say anything too much about it, Andy. I don't know. It looks all right.
No, I mean, they're in. I'd like to have probably seen a couple more colours in it, but they're in. What I will. And this is a hard thing. This is a hard thing to say at this point.
Sure.
But what I would like to see, this is 3 butterflies, and all you've done is repeat the same butterfly 3 times, and it's the exact same thing. Now, I understand, but sometimes as an artist, you're better off maybe, unless I specifically said that, is try and mix it up. You know, try and get couple of different styles in, 3 different butterflies, or if you're using the same butterfly and using the same pattern and stencil, just at a different size, try using different takes on colours, you know, just to separate them.
That's true. Give them a little separation.
But, like I said, they don't look bad for what they are. They look symmetrical, look fairly symmetrical across. And everything. So other than that, like I said, it's not too bad.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for sending those in, Kenneth. Chris is up next. All right. Chris McKay. We don't got any information, Chris, so we's just going to jump in here. All right. We got the tatted frog here. He looks like he's got some tattoos on this frog. You know what? I don't know how big this is. It might be bigger than it actually appears. Telling by your leg or whatnot, but it looks all right to me. At first glance, I'm like, all right, yeah, not bad. But, you know, little things, right? So we have this line over here that comes around, and it just falls off. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe we just missed it coming from the other way. And then the other thing you mainly see, aside from a few of these, is the blowouts you have, or it appears to be quite a few. You get right along here, over here, over here, over here, up over here. I mean, there's just... Are they crazy psycho, like boom, bashing blowouts? Maybe this one a little bit right here. But no, but you're just running. You're running a little hard, man. Going a little too deep.
It's obviously it's running right on the edge, and you can see the main thing. Other than that, like you picked it all up. Other than that little line, and then there's one up on one at digits on right foot as we're looking at it. Bottom foot, Dave.
Bottom foot. Oh, bottom foot over here, right?
Yeah, can you see it there? It's just there. Other than that, there is, unfortunately, you're running quite hard and fast, which can be quite easy to do because you think you're saying, I'll run hard and fast. I don't have to go over my lines again. You know what I mean? I don't want to go over them again because I've got a chance of missing my line or double banging it, this, that, and other. But you just run that bit hard and fast, and you have got a crazy amount of blowouts on this, unfortunately.
Yes. I tried to err on the side of I'd rather have to hit that line again than blow it out because you can't go back from a blowout. You can fix a light line, whether you have the confidence to go over it again or like Andy suggested maybe using a smaller needle grouping if you need to.
Yeah, can't even really laser a blowout out.
Well, there you go.
You do laser removal. It's really hard to get a blowout out. You can't even really do it with laser removal either.
Why do you know that? Wow. All right. Yeah, I guess that hit they're a little bit too deep. All right. Oof. Well, I say oof. I do apologize because that purple. I thought immediately when I looked at it, I was like, oh man, that's. But let me get a little closer and actually take a look here. The purple's hiding the line work a bit here. We have very inconsistent line work here. You tell you've gone over some spots. Other spots are really thin and light. Wow. Others are thicker. We look at this right here. That's thick. The stencil, I don't know, Andy. Here's a problem if you have a stencil, right? If you're using a small needle grouping, let's say you're using like a 5-round liner. If your stencil has a thick line going around, if your stencil is thick, right? The lining on your stencil is thick, and you're going through there with a 5-round liner or small needle, you don't have any real reference to where you're going. There's too much wiggle room if you're following that stencil, in my opinion. So make sure you have the stencil matches the needle grouping, I guess is what I'm trying to say, or whatnot, because the lining here is just a bit inconsistent in comparison.
Yeah, I mean, that should have been a 9-round liner. That piece should have been a 9-round liner.
Yeah. I'd use a 5-round shader because I love 5-round shaders for lining now.
Because to be frank, and to be true, the lining on this piece is quite bad. And like you say, it's scratched in places, it's inconsistent, and you can see it a mile off. Whereas, like we've said before, a fatter needle group, and especially for this is a traditional piece. Especially for this, you always use a fatter round liner all the time.
Yeah.
Rather than a thinner liner. Bold outlines. And fatter liners will, yes, you may need a little bit more speed or a little bit more pressure to put them in or move your hand a little bit slower. But you don't see as many of them little hiccups or little wiggles in using a fatter liner. And unfortunately, the line work suffers really bad on this. It's not unfortunately it's not good. It's not good on this piece.
No, man, I'm with you. It's we tried, you know what I mean? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This one, it didn't work out. It's fixable, yes. Wait till you get a little more confident and comfortable with your lining. I think that's probably the consensus there. But at least you're not trying to do a bunch of crazy stuff, man. At least you're not trying to shade and blah, blah, blah. You're just working on your line work, and it just needs more time.
You missed Tyler out.
It's way harder than it looks, man.
You missed somebody out there.
Oh, of course I did. I wouldn't be a regular day, but this has nothing there.
All right.
Yeah, sorry. I get used to skipping the ones that don't have anything. But Tyler,
all right. My bad.
Nothing here, bud. No attachments. Alrighty. So we got Zach G. Hey, Dave. Been tattooing for a year now. Using 9-round liner and a 5-round liner for shading. Used a 9-round. All right. Jay, there's nothing wrong with that. If it works for you, it works for you. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay. One with the stipple. Kind of. Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah. All right. The face looks a little dark, but it could be the way it's. Yeah, the lighting's probably coming from behind. Okay, that makes sense. Let's zoom across and see more of it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it works. I think it
Yeah, I
works.
mean,
Yeah.
it works, and he's getting light and dark in
Yeah.
there.
He is.
Um,
Yeah.
it just where the top foot and the belly of the horse come together, I think is the two, the stipple shading or the dotting that is done is quite close there. If it had just made the hooves, if it had just made the hooves on the horse just a little bit darker, it just
Mm,
made it a little bit easier to read.
yeah, that makes
But
sense.
other than that, what I'm going to say is, I mean, I'm looking at the line and you're looking at the bridle coming over, and that's pretty consistent. The lines around the legs on the outside of the trousers pretty consistent. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but it's not bad work at all.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Not bad at all. One
It's,
second, man. I'm booking
like
this.
you say, if that's how you like to work, a 9 round liner and a 5 round liner for your shading. I don't think this is stipple shading. It looks more like dot work you've used within this. But as Dave says, just a couple of areas, just even with facing that, just try to leave a little bit of light and dark, a little bit of open space or a little bit of lighter space so that we can just read it a little bit easier. That's all.
Yeah, and the lining here is much better than the lining here. So if you did this, this is what overworks scarred tattoo.
Yeah.
This much better, cleaner.
It is.
Lining is relatively smooth, So good job, good improvement
Yeah.
for sure. So Drew Lash, let's see, what do we got? What do we got? No information, just a couple tattoos. All right, let's take a look. All right, well, man, this is you're out of your league on this one, my friend. I don't normally say this, but there's no
There's no
redeeming
redeeming
qualities here.
features.
No,
There's
there's
no
not.
redeeming features
There's
whatsoever
no
to this,
nothing.
unfortunately.
The lining is rough. The color is then
Barely
you're
there.
gonna have to go back to you got an experience here, you got a feeling for us, and this is overworked too. So it's definitely a case of probably just running way too fast, not really understanding what it is you're doing in the skin. And yeah, man.
I
Go ahead,
mean,
Andy.
it's like we said, them lines aren't in. They're not in, they're not there, they're not done right. You're either running too fast or you're running too slow and your hand's moving too fast. You've not got enough depth or penetration. The flowers themselves and the leaves are whack, unfortunately. They just don't flow right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Drew, what I'm going to say, that flower stem does not go with that flower. With that size head and that size leaves, you would have had a fatter stem, and that stem would have been greens, browns, whatever,
Right.
underneath. And like we've been banging on about, you need to be using 3 colours, 3 colours with at least one shade, preferably 2 shades of separation between every colour. Unfortunately, it is definitely not there in this tattoo from
Agreed,
any
man.
respect.
And
To
the
be fair,
lining is
it's not there, Dave.
way too small of a needle the whole way. Down
Yeah, I
here,
mean,
like the whole thing is a whip.
it's double banged. Going under them
Yeah.
leaves out, it's double banged. It's not in.
But they're not even like close to each other, the double bang, spaced
Yeah.
out a bit. This tells me this person put, and hey, look, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. You put no practice in. You put no practice in. You jumped right on the skin. This looks like, nobody to blame but yourself here. Sometimes we have to just say how it is.
This is somebody that's trying to run before they can even walk, before they can crawl, unfortunately.
I don't think this is supposed to be watercolor. Even if it was
No,
watercolor, I mean, it doesn't. No, I'm not buying it.
no, not buying that one.
Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, so I mean, this pretty much reiterates what everything we just said. Nothing about these lines are really. Look at you can see the stencil. You can see the stencil. So what practicing on fake skin does is, at least at a minimum, helps you feel comfortable following the stencil and moving your hand in a consistent way, moving your shoulder, your elbow, your arms, all these different things and muscles and blah blah blah, to help you to the simplest thing as following the stencil smoothly, right? Lines aren't connecting. if this is supposed to be saturated black, obviously it goes without saying that ain't there. No, this is a hot mess. This and
Yeah.
this potato stuff, man.
Get
You
yourself
gotta
some
stop
fake
doing
skin.
it.
Get fake skin. Stop marking yourself up, marking other people up,
Yeah.
basically branding them and that for life with this stuff. Get some fake skin. And like Dave says, get your fundamental basics. We're not even following getting saturated lines. We're not even down to the very minimum of basics, being able to follow the stencil that's on there. You can clearly see that it's not following the stencil.
Yeah, clearly see that. Yeah.
And like I said, them lines are not saturated. They are not in there.
No.
So, and they're the basics of holding your tattoo together, especially tattoos like this. So you need to get that under control.
Yep. Just hey. Yep. I'll help. We want to help people that take it serious. You're not taking anything serious here. So we're moving on. Adam Smith. Let's see what we got here, man. No information. We're just going to jump in here. All right. It's kind of small, hard to see.
A bit blurry.
Again, man, it's honestly hard for me to tell, to really say much of anything. Obviously, it's a bit unrefined, but I really can't tell.
Yeah, it's not the best of quality. I mean, the color packing, the color saturation, from what I'm looking at on this, is not the best. And I know it's nitpicky, but I can still see. Look, you've got two windows in base of that lighthouse, and them blacks are not punched in, because I can see where you just pull the line straight through the middle of the window, the windows, and then try saturating the black over it, so one saturation's not of another, and stuff like that's going to stay. The rope work around the outside looks a bit janky.
Yeah, we have an indent over here too. It kind of throwing me off.
Yeah, and I think you've just missed the mark on this one, and it's not. See, these traditional tattoos, people think they're so easy to do, but they've got to be bulletproof. They're a very simplistic design, and there's nowhere to hide, so they must be bulletproof. Your line work must be on it. Your colours must be right. They must be saturated right. Otherwise, that's what you're going to get criticised on. Yeah,
the simpler the tattoo, the cleaner it has to be. All right. Well, again, this is also a blurry photo, but from what I can see, most of the lines are pretty. Well, the lining looks better here. I don't know what's going on with this dagger here, why it has an odd, very prominent sharp turn. Let's say it's supposed to be that way for the sake of it, real sharp at the end. Maybe it is. I don't know. But this one looks better. I like the black. Seems saturated. These photos are blurry, so to get real precise with it is very tricky. But I like this one more than the last one. I can say that much. That's probably all I can really say. So again, I can't really get close enough to really try to help you out.
No, because they're a bit blurry, aren't they?
Yeah, because you want to help. You want to see, is this line light? Is this line solid? What can I tell you about this line? But I can't really tell really. So to try to help is hard on that one. So we'll jump to the next one. Alrighty. Okay.
Well, this is
that shading is straight monotone and a bit on the harsh side, right? We have doesn't seem like there's any real values here. You've been better off just straight blacking these eyes out. I think it just would have helped overall. Give it some solid black. Black back here, black back here. And then try to, hopefully you're going to go back through here, maybe put something in here, a name, a date or something, right? Open banner. But we have mid-tone, and that's it. There's no light tones. There's no real darks, just playing around in the mid-tones. And then we pump some white in over here. And it could have been so much more. The lining is hit or miss at best in most places, but that's about all I can really say about it.
Yeah, I mean the lining's not the best, Dave. Let's be right. I mean, it's a miss. I mean, we've got different line weights, whether it's done intentional or purpose. I mean, some of these look as if oh crap, I've gone back in and they've just fattened them up because they're not right. But you can see whether it's either not getting a proper stretch on it, or has been a bit hesitant, you can just see that shakiness going through the lines. And we've all done it. We all get it every now and then. But you've got to eliminate the most of it as you can. And that's what we try to do. But there's more in this than there isn't, especially over, shall we say, the longer lines, which always get everybody to start with. The longer lines, because the shorter lines are just like, yep, done. Where the longer lines, it's like, oh, crap. And like you say, I don't want to have to go in and miss picking my line back up. But very monotonal. And
I think that the choice of flowers, again, not my personal favorite when it comes to the roses, but that doesn't really matter. I don't even know why I bring that up. But just personal choice. But black, man, get some black in that tattoo.
Yeah, get some more tones.
Out a little bit.
Yeah, get some more tones in it. Because, like I say, it's very monotone. It's very all on one point. Yeah. Some, like Dave says, whack some blacks in it.
Mm-hmm. But hey, you're doing what you got to do. Ronald is up next. I'm not sure which ones I'm gonna. All right, Ronald, we're probably going to move quick along these. Got 7 of them here, so we're going to move quick. I don't got any information on you, Ronald, just Ronald Stone. All right, let's do this doggone thing. All right, the lining is a bit rough, man. The black is kind of saving you, but you didn't take the black up to the lines, so I can very easily see this tattoo is not good, man. The more my brain processes it, the lines are botched, the black's not packed all the way up to the edge. The face kind of just looks funky.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing with this is, it could have packed that black up to edges, and you could have sculpted where you think, oh, well, then looked at it and thought, well, it's not quite right shape. You could have sculpted it in and packed a bit more in and shaped it out. And it's such a small tattoo, which is great, fine, no problem. You're keeping it real. But what I'm saying is, you're not going back and looking with your, like we said before, your own 2 eyes are most critical. If you go back and you can't see that there on the left-hand side, you've got a line poking out into the middle of its back and thinks you're saying, oh, crap, I can't leave that like that. What am I going to do? Or it's not packed up to an edge. I can see skin where it should be black.
Right. This line down here at the bottom left, man.
Yeah.
This is a small tattoo. There's only so much that you can do. You got to nail this stuff. Yeah. Trust me. We had you gotten this like 80% there, I would have been like, all right, man, I got you. I see what's happening here. But it's just not there, man. It's just not there. I like that you're doing small tattoos, lines in black, but definitely could spend a little bit more time on some fake skin. And here we go. We got some fake skin. And this needs a lot more time. If this is the fake skin we're working on, and this is the only piece where this line out, I mean, look at it. You can see this is not an easy tattoo to do when you're practicing, but it's good that you're practicing lines. We've hit this a few times. We can see that. If this were in the skin, this would be thick, bold spots, blown out potentially. Thin. Same over here. Just because it's in the fake skin doesn't mean that it's really a great thing. Oh, yeah. Same thing here. These lines, the shading, this is some scribbly stuff here.
But the artwork as well. I mean, the artwork as well, unfortunately, I'm going to bring that up. You're expected to basically draw and put art on people's skin. If you can't get the artwork and the things to look right, then on paper or anything like that, where you can rub it out, what the hell are you going to do on people's skin? Because you can't rub this crap out.
No, man, no. And
this stuff. I mean, that it should be dividing that piece of fake skin up into 4 and smaller pieces. It should have got 4 smaller pieces on that piece of fake skin to start with, and be working on smaller pieces. That's my opinion.
Dude, look, I get it. You send your working list, take a look at it, right? But you have to, like Andy says, like, you got to use your own 2 eyeballs. If your own 2 eyeballs are saying, man, I got a lot to go here. Why, I'm speechless. Moving on. Yeah, same, man, same. I'm not even gonna spend a lot of time on this. Okay, I don't know what you're doing. You need to just do some line work, some small pieces, just 2 lines, just pack some black, man, and take it serious. Stop trying to do big art pieces here. We're not You ain't there, man. It's not disrespectful to you. You just aren't there, and you need to like come back, say, you know what, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna progress along. I'm not gonna try to jump ahead. And here we are in tattoo and skin, you know.
Shit.
Dang, and it shows, man. This says this is a tattoo that could get away with having some flaws because of what it is. But man, this is overworked and scarred up through here. This is a hot mess.
And then it's not in down at bottom.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I
some
mean? Bottom of
spots
the
are
feet, it's not
blown
in.
out.
And that. And this is what you're working on fake skin, and you're not even getting your fundamentals down, and you're working on real skin.
Yeah.
Now this is the problem. If you're going to do it and you're going to tattoo, at least like the rest of us and like everybody else, the only way you succeed is by putting the effort in. And by putting the effort in, get on fake skin, work on smaller stuff, work on your lines, work on your shading, progress. Then go on to real skin, work on smaller stuff. And like we've said, it becomes, where does it become, at what point does it become irresponsible of yourself when of doing tattoos and inking people, when you can't get anything, when you can't get things down into fake skin half right? And this is like we were saying before, and if you can't see the flaws and what's wrong with things with your own two eyes, never mind us sitting here, and you might be somewhere listening to this thinking, what a set of assholes. You know what I mean? Why, you know what I mean?
Not today. This is straight honesty on this one.
You know what I mean? I'm
Not
just straight
right.
being honest. There's people working hard to get into this industry and putting the time in. I mean, it's like that. Would you tattoo your wife like that on her forearm where it was seen every day?
Not a chance. It's unfortunate, man. It's really unfortunate. Like I see you got practice skin, but you ain't practicing. That's just doing random stuff. And then okay, I'm legitimately speed. This is the best one I've seen. And that's not saying a whole lot, man, but it's on fake skin. At least on fake skin, you ain't doing this. This is just not cool at all, man. And just if you're gonna maintain a tattoo machine and fake skin and stuff, then stay there. Work on your fundamentals, lining, packing black, and just start there. We say this a lot. If you need a starting point, start there. Like Andy said, do a bunch of small things, small lines. We're looking for, the quality, not full pieces that are, all over the place here. All right. So, hey, hate to deliver the news, man, but, sometimes you don't know, Ronald. You got to ask people. You got to ask. Sometimes you don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, is this good? Am I doing it wrong? Hey, he's wrong, Ronald, and we'll just...
YouTube, YouTube, Ron. I mean, there's so many videos on lining, packing colour, shading and everything. You could spend 2-3 hours every night for a week watching these videos, accumulating it all, and then go back, cut your fake skins into 4 and work on smaller pieces. Then they don't become out of your comfort zone. You don't seem to get lost in them really quick. Use bigger needle groupings, practice your lining, practice shading, practice colouring. Colouring is so slow, like we say, circular motions, pack it in, wipe it. Can you see skin through it? If you can, go back in. Is your skin getting chewed up? Yeah, it is. Well, I'm either moving too fast or my needles are running too fast. My gun machines are either running too slow or my machine's running too fast. You've just got to figure it out. But you can't figure this out on human skin because you'll just scar them and turn their skin into hamburger meat.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's it. And do your due diligence. If you want to do it, there is all the information's out there. I promise you it is. I mean, aside from a person standing over your shoulder and helping you, you can spend the time just like anything else. If you want to get good at tattooing, you want to get good at that, you got to put the time in, man. And I would start with a pencil. Start by watching some videos talking about, shading, different Get all those things down. It's
Lining.
perfect. Just get them somewhere along the way. And at the
Mm.
same time, you're learning that in the background, shading and different things, lighting. At the same time, you're learning that. Be over there with your machine, learning fundamentals. You don't have to be an artist to learn how to run a line smoothly, make circles, pack black, right? You can be doing these fundamentals, just those, while learning on the side. And then you can combine those two slowly over time, right? You got to understand it's a process. So this person is Julio. Let's see what we got, Julio. All right, they're a bit far away, but I will say from what I can see, the colors. I'm assuming I'm looking at the tree. I'm assuming we're looking at the cat. I'm not gonna look at the rest of it because I don't know that you see it. But the tree looks pretty good, saturated nicely. Again, it's a bit hazy, so I'm gonna have to go with it being good. The cat, the line weight seems solid from here. A couple spots that appear might be a little bit blown out, but I can't confirm, so I'm gonna have to say hey, it looks pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, I like the cat. I like the tree. The black, like you said, the black looks super saturated. A little bit hazy is the photo. The cat, I prefer the cat to the tree. Just like I say, with the pink, the blue eyes, and everything. And yeah, for what I can see off the thing, the line weight and the lines look fairly smooth. Look smooth, consistent. Got a nice use of line weight on them, and I don't think these aren't bad at all for what they are. These are done well.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Julio. Looking good, man. All right. Oh, we got a bunch again. Again, guys, in the future, obviously, everything's already been sent in. But in the future, try to send like 3. That helps us get to more people. Obviously, guys, I usually run 2 hours. We're going to push this to 3 hours tonight. So probably around the 2 hours and 45-minute mark, we'll start, trying to depart. Usually takes 20 minutes to get off. But anyhow, hey, man, big fan. I started practicing tattooing February 2022. It's been something I've always wanted to do. Any tips you can give me would be greatly appreciated. So February of 2022, almost a year now, because
Cool.
I'm pretty sure we're coming up on February 2023 next month. All right, so let's see what we got. I guess we'll start right here. We're going to kind of move quickly along through these. Dang, there we go. I like that you laid it all out here. Let us take a look. Ooh, I like that. Some of these
what
I really like.
Dave, what I'll say here is laid them all out. We can't get him far enough to criticise on them and appreciate them. If we move on to the next one where we can sort of like get closer.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I think we're gonna look at a progression here. I'm just guessing, and that's what I think we're gonna have here. So I'm gonna move a little bit quickly. But lining so far right off the bat, yep, shading. It's in its infancy stages here.
It's in its infancy. Some line works a little bit light,
right?
But like you said, its shading's in its infancy, and you can also see that the packing of the black is in. It looks like to be in its first stages, but this looks like some audible nasty ass skin as well.
It is, man. It is some rough stuff. All right, as you can see, we're learning the lining, trying to get comfortable with the lining. I think on the smaller pieces where, like we talked about before, the lining has a little bit more shorter distances and more curves, not bad. Here we had to hit it a few times. And as we can see on the side here, again, practicing that line work, so it's solid. I think the line work on this flower gets a little bit better.
Yeah, that rose with the sculling is a bit better than the roses on the previous one.
Yeah.
The lining looks better on this. The colouring's not there, I'll be honest. But the lining looks better, a lot better on this one.
Yeah. All right. This community is not my... okay. Let's see. What's up, Andy?
This community is not my workload.
Did we say it was Mary? Oh, okay, Kyle's okay. I glance over every once in a while and I see a weird comment. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Clearly, there's some conversation going on over there. No, whose is this? This is Joseph's. All right, and again, here we go. Person's practicing color. The lining is, slow and steady. I see some improvements along the way. Not too bad. Color packing is pretty weak here. Yeah. All right, we hit this piece. Shading.
Now this like you said, this piece is the one that you've seen. So from afar, it looked okay.
It did look a lot better from afar,
But
Andy.
as we get in, what I will say is the lining is a hell of a lot better on this.
Yeah, and it's a
It's
lot bigger.
smoother. You look at all the little circles up the back of the hair; they're all pretty much consistent
That's
for
true,
size wise,
for the most part.
and they're all pretty much circular. Yeah, I've seen this design, and I think there's actually, if I've seen this design right, that one of the beads, and I think the top bead are actually bigger.
Then that's the case. They are. Then
Yeah, is on this where the faltering again is the shading and the packing.
Yeah, it's like
yeah, it needs work. It's like you say, it's as if they've got bored, or they're not really how many passes or how long it takes to shade and pack colour on this. It seems like they've got to the point where they're starting to know the hand speed and the depth and the voltage for the lining, but not for the colour packing and getting smooth shading. So this is what it looks like to me, that they need to slow down on the packing and the shading on here.
Yeah, and maybe just do some shading on the side, like just try to do that. Try to go from a dark to a light, maybe try to blend a mid with a light, maybe take a light and just kind of blend it out into nothing. Remember, shading fake skin is actually, in my opinion, can be a bit more challenging than human skin. However, you have eternity to shade fake skin. You don't really have that much as long in human skin. Obviously, so many passes, the skin's going to start talking back to you, and so is the client. I don't really know where I'm going with this. Not really a big fan of.
No, I mean that could be used with a heavier line round outside. Now, I
Yeah.
think the problem here is I don't think they're using the best of fake skins.
No, they're not. They're not. And the lining,
and I think they may need to up their ante and maybe bite the bullet and buy some better fake skins and work on smaller pieces to maximize what they're getting out of the fake skins, and you will really see the difference between the color packing process and everything using a better fake skin. What I will say is that rose there is a hell of a lot better than the first roses that we were seeing for the shape, the line work, the lines being in, and it actually looking like a traditional type rose.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is they put a date down here, Andy. So this is 2 months into their journey, according to their January, February. Because this is January, February, March. It's April. So yeah, 2 months into their tattooing. So and I think this is one of the last pieces here. All right, and then we jump to skin.
Looks a bit.
Yeah, I mean it's not great. Okay, I'll be honest. I'm just looking at it from knowing where you're coming from. Nah, these lines are a bit rough, man. You spend a bit more time overall. The line work on the fake skin wasn't great. It was like, okay, see where you're going. A little bit longer. I think we're going to see some progression, but then we see skin tattooed, and this is what those imperfect lines on fake skin look like when they're transitioned to human skin, and all the more things that you have to work around and deal with. You get a whole bunch of very mixed match, wobbly, in and out, inconsistent lines.
See, for where this could have been a 9-round liner, 11-round liner, 9-round shade. They wanted an heavier line in places. But it's like you say, we've got lines that are missed, unfortunately. We've got lines that are double banged, and not quite got it. Got some blowouts. It's not quite there. This person just needs to spend some time really dialing. That's a bad blowout and bad line work at top there.
Up here for sure.
And then we've got places that are super light, that hardly in, it's scratched in, for want of a better way. But they just really need to dial in the line work. You need to come back, get sell some decent fake skin and work on some line work.
Yeah.
Fundamentals.
Definitely. But hey, thanks for sending in. I'm glad to see this. I'm glad to see this fake skin that you're working on. Glad to see that. You know what I mean? Think of how much better.
But you can see an improvement.
You can. It just needs a more, double this, right? Because it's gonna all around be beneficial. But I am happy to see you're working on the fake skin. All right. Oh, there is something here. I almost didn't click on it. Work done by Chris Lash. All right, let's take a look. That's pretty cool. It's definitely bright, super contrasty. I don't know. I think we use too many colors here. Personally, I don't
So
know that I'm a big fan of the green in the teeth. It's a
I think what it
little
is there's a few colours. There's a few colours that are quite close to each other. Where you get the bit round the neck and the leaves, yes, and I know they're two different pinks, but then you get the cuffs. I think they should have had a bit more contrast between it.
right. Yeah.
You know, in
Yeah.
the colours, there should have been more a separation of contrast. Trying to look at the line work, generally they've used some different line weights, which I like. But generally, the line work's not looking too bad at all. It's just the choice of colours, which, yeah, it's bright and it's in your face. I just think on the clown's clothes, it'd have been better with a little bit more separation of colours.
Yep. I think so. And I think I know this guy. I think I tattooed maybe Chris Lash. I tattooed Chris Lash. Chris Lash has the Freddy Krueger face on him. I think that's who that was, Freddy Krueger. Yeah. So if it's the same Chris Lash, I've seen some of his other work when he was here, and I know what he can do is some cool stuff. I'm just not sure that the color choices were right on in this one because there's some technique that's nice. There's some lining that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to maybe more color choice than anything.
If you're dabbling in colour tattoo, best thing you can do, jump on Amazon. £3.50, $4 or $5, buy us in a colour wheel. Because then you can, if you're putting pink in, if you spin it onto pink that you're using, it will give you your primers, your opposite colour, which will make that colour look brighter, and your tertiary colours.
Yeah.
And it'll just help you out to start with. Then after that, this will all start to become, once you've seen enough tattoos done with your own eyes, it'll become natural. But for a few dollars, colour wheel, I did.
Yeah. And then if you have Procreate, it comes with it in like when in your color choices, and then you can choose like triads, so it'll give you like 3 colors that are like boom within that same realm. I've used it a few times. It's definitely worth it. And before I had that, I had a hand one where you just turn it and it tells you other colors that match it.
Yeah, I
think you can find them digitally too, like if you just want that.
I mean, Jake's thinks the colours were original to photos. I totally get it, and we've all done that, Jake. Stayed too really, really close to colours in photos. But as a tattoo artist, you've got to learn in the skin, because when your colours go under the skin and your skin heals up, it's like the lighter the skin is, the brighter the colours will look. The darker the skin is, it's like looking through a tinted window. So it'll automatically muddy the colours. So what you've got to do as a tattoo artist, you've just got to think, well, them colours are too close together. I am going to use pinks, but look, I'm going to separate them a little bit more, because when they heal, they're going to look too close together and they're going to get lost and I'm going to lose the design.
Right. That's the biggest thing, the overall. This one's from Melissa. As they say, hello, I'm a huge fan, and I've learned most of what I know from you. Here's some line work and a little coloring I've done on fake skin. I've been practicing for a few months. Just started playing with colors. Okay. Well, I have to use the restroom again. I'm gonna just roll across here. You're gonna let me know which one you want me to pause on. Okay. All right. Which one you wanna?
Well, we might as well go with this one. There's enough. I can.
This one here.
Yeah. Can you zoom in a bit for us, Dave?
Yeah.
About there. That'll do.
All right. I'll be back in just a minute.
Yeah. Well, like I say, I mean, let's run round line work really quickly. Some of the line work is not too bad. We can see, especially under the leaves either side, you've come down the right hand side, looks like you may have gone over it twice and you've got a double thickness. The left hand side of it is far better. Round the legs is not too bad. It's not the best, but it's not too bad where it matters round there. And generally, you've got places where the line works in and it's not in. But let's looking at this. Your biggest downfall, them colours are not packed in. They're not nowhere near saturated. Your leaves, you would start out towards the edges work them in, and then shade them into the middle. I don't think there was any real need to maybe have the black V up the middle of the leaves. That might be a design choice, but I don't think there was any real need to have it. You might have been better off with just one black vein going up it, with the lines coming into it, and then shading in.
Quite loud.
But like I say, I thought you'd check up microphones at the toilet.
I was just pouring my soda in my cup here, and I was like, "Oh wait, I'm unmuted." My bad.
And you've got to be able to see them purples or blues that are there are not packed. They don't go up to the lines. Same with the yellows. Same with the reds. Same with your black. Now, these are things that, as we've said earlier on, you should be looking with your own eyes, well, and be able to say, well, yeah, if I were colouring in a colouring book and you had your coloured pencils or you had your felt tip pens, would you colour up to the lines? Yes, you would. So when you've tattooed your lines on somebody and it's colour like this, you should colour up to the lines. And if you've got gaps, like you can see all over this, it's not right. So if it's not right, you should go back, fix it.
Yeah.
Go back, colour up to them lines. It's quite simple. Once your line works in, it's only equivalent of colouring in a colouring book. You wouldn't walk away from a colouring book leaving it like this.
Exactly. Yep.
Simply. Like I said, yeah.
Yeah. This is the same thing. I think you were saying, Andy. Same thing. And I'm not really sure. The lip at the top here kind of looks like a bit of a butt. And maybe you just got a little too dramatic with the lining or something on it. I'm not sure. Color packing. They're in fake skin. Yeah, I think everything you said there was spot on, man.
Yeah, like I said, again, they're going straight in and working on big pieces.
Right.
To start with, this is so... and unfortunately, I'm also trying to save you money here, you know what I mean?
Right.
You put that in the middle of a piece of fake skin. Cut your piece of fake skin into 4, shrink it down. Get designs on 4 pieces of work.
Because look, this little piece is probably the best one.
Yeah, it is.
It has its little flaws and whatnot, but look, I mean, you want to get this tattoo or tattoos like this really crisp on the fake skin. This says, it can be far crisper, right? It's the better of it, but like Andy said, do them smaller pieces and just try to nail them on the fake skin.
Yeah.
And he's going to save you money because you're not going to have to buy, 15 sheets of fake skin because you're doing huge pieces on each one.
Yeah, like I said.
All right. This is kind of looking cool right here already. Hello, I'm a self-taught artist and I started 1 year ago. Thanks for your videos. Helped me a lot when first starting. And what do you think about my... Okay, I thought maybe I was going to say work at the bottom. Boom. Looks cool.
I like
cool, man. I like how it definitely has that coming out of the fake skin look. The shadows are quite nice. I like the shading in it. I don't know. The stomach kind of looks like a little strange. If these are abs or something, I don't know what's happening there. But
what gets me, I can live with that.
2 things like this.
Yeah, I can live with that. It's unfortunate for me. It's the fingers on the left hand as we're looking at it. You're
missing a finger? Oh, okay.
No, left hand, Dave. Left hand as we're looking as well. Looking at.
Oh, okay. His right hand.
They look broken. Just 2 of them fingers.
Oh my. That's them.
But
I get the perspective they're trying to go with there, but is it? Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, it looks compared to the rest of it, the hand just doesn't look right. Just doesn't seem to fit in. But overall, this person's application of this tattoo and their shading is nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. I like it a lot, dude. It looks
nice.
Sweet.
It's well done. The artistry is well done. The shading's well executed. It's just that when you look at it now, and I can't unsee it, that left hand as we look at it, it looks like it's all bent backwards, them fingers.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't catch that. Good eye there. But the ab things, it looks like 2 arms up like this, like protruding from the center. When you go back, I didn't initially get drawn to it, but then I saw it and I could not see
Yeah.
them anymore.
But
there's so much cool stuff happening here, though.
But nice. It's nice. It's really well done.
Yeah. It's weird how some of the nicest pieces we tend to like depict the most. It's weird how it works. It's just, I think you know someone's potential and you're like, oh wow. We have seen this tattoo a lot, haven't we? Just like that fallen away angel one.
Yeah.
This is done nicely though.
It is done nicely. I mean, look at them little lines through this left hand wing.
Very tedious.
This is how you do, tediously done, all looking good together. They don't sort of like jenk off in all different directions, this, that, and other. There's totally readable. It's not overshaded. It's not undershaded. There's just the right amount.
Yeah.
On this.
In this particular style that it's done in as well, it works. Aha. That's cool. I like this tattoo as well. It reads nicely. It looks crisp, looks solid. Again, the same styling. It looks good on like that skin tone. It fits, it's not overly done. Nice tattoo for this person.
Nice.
Bold line around the outside. Yeah.
Yeah, it's well executed. Mm-hmm. Nice use of shading, nice use of different, shall we say, different methods, e.g. stickle shading, bit of shading, and everything, and he's really pulled this one off. It's really, really nice, clean work.
Yeah, I agree. Nice stuff, Robert, and cool technique, man. All right. Dang, I don't know if we're going to get through everybody here. I'm going to try. Oh, my gosh, there's a bunch. Kyle Labella. All right. Hi, guys. I'm in my first year or so of tattooing or taking tattooing seriously. This is some of the work I've done last year, 2022. All right. We're gonna burn through it kind of quick because we got to get to
We'll get stencil.
Yep.
Let's move on.
Okay. There's a few blowouts back here. Same here. There's some spots here and there that look okay, but overall it's very inconsistent.
Yeah, some of the line work's very light on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's like you said, Dave. It's not consistent in the line work. I'm hoping that this is the earlier work.
Me too. Well, I mean, it's contrasty. It's a little hard to read though because we got dark, open skin, and I don't know. It's just a bit lacking. Not sure. Sometimes can't put your finger on it. This photo is really hard to read. I'm moving on past it.
Quite like this. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, like from conceptually, it appears they got it relatively in a decent spot on this girl's back. Assuming that's what she wanted. The
thing that bugs me most on this is that line across top of head.
Yeah, that's the biggest part. Had they like maybe shaded off it backward, done something to try to hide that bit of a blue on the top.
Drop a bit of shading on it would have helped. Generally, it's a lot better than the other one. Just where it's shaded in the cobweb, it just seems a bit harsh, black line instead of just faded off.
Right.
It'd be nice to see that just instead of having that haze just smoothed off. And you've got in there is a couple of lines that are just quite scratchily put in. They're in, but they're quite scratchily put in. So that's just something just to watch for. Get them in crisp, get them in clean.
Yeah. Again, can't really see that one for the sake of moving. I'm not a big fan of this.
No, I mean,
lining is also just kind of
The line work is
what's happening.
Is off on this. I mean, it's heavy. It's too heavy. This. I know we bang on about getting heavier line work, but it's too heavy.
Yeah.
But even with how heavy this is, you look at the top of the dagger, then look at the tip of the dagger. It's off.
Yeah, for sure.
The line weight on this around the edge of them leaves is too much. This has gone the other way. It's too much for this. For this tattoo, it is just too much. You just need to dial your line. And to be fair, the colouring, that gem in the middle of the hilt could have taken a little bit more saturated colour, toned out with a white highlight in the middle of it, just to give it that glint. It would have worked better. So you just got to be careful. Slow your scent up. You know, make sure your lines are in. Pick your right size needle.
And,
Make sure
follow
your lines
that
are in.
stencil so you don't end up with, you know, this offset thing happening there, right? Because I immediately sees those things. It stinks. It's like, well, but don't you see all the stuff I did right? No, the stupid eye only sees certain things. So overall, I think that you're gonna want to definitely keep working at it. But I mean, there's stuff going. Art you later up next. Oh, okay. Since you were hoping for these, all right, Andy, these are the ones I'm assuming that you had seen. And so I'll give my opinion on because I'm sure you've looked at them already. And there's a few of these thick lines. I mean, I'm only picking it out because you know, I'd love to see it continue to get better and better. Few lines, but the black is solid, man. I like how saturated the black is for like 99% of it. Like this one as well. See, these simpler tattoos, they got to be clean, they got to be crisp. And I think this is clean and crisp, right?
Yep.
I really
This
do.
one is,
Both of these are pretty stinking clean, crisp.
Yep.
Let's go on to the next one. This one I think I saw. And I really liked this right here, right? You follow that stencil, nail it. Yeah, you can get in here and be like, well, maybe you can clean these up a little bit more, but I don't know how small this is. Probably tiny, knowing her.
Right, this one.
Zoom
into this one.
Yeah, go ahead, Andy.
Right, this one, where I will start. Obviously, this one, I've seen this one. And circles at bane of his life.
They're hard.
But what I'm saying is, use right technique around outside, you've used dot work. And what I'm going to say to you is here, you've used dot work, you've had a stencil on. And for using dot work round a circle on a stencil like this, that outer circle's rough. It got dints in. It dints in at top. It dints in at right hand side. And I know it doesn't look, it looks like you've dotted, it looks like you've just dotted them. And we've said before in previous show, make sure each one of them, I don't know about you, Dave, but I always do put in and like a little circle, in, little circle, in, little circle. Same with all your dots, no matter what you're doing. And I know you're working with bigger needles, and we can't really see on this one, but it's showing on generally all the shapes and the sizes of the shapes are good. But if you get into some of the line work, you can see that she's struggling to get the consistency of that needle drawing lines. Like you go to the top of that mandala, right hand side, you can see. Can you see how thin that line is compared to the other ones?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I see he's got thin line here.
Yeah,
this one's a bit thick. In the skin, you're going to see a bit more of these inconsistencies because the nature of the beast.
I mean, left hand side. You go to left hand side, overshot.
Yeah.
Can you see the oval where it's overshot each other?
Yeah, like right here.
No,
here.
Go left a bit, Dave. Go left, up.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, overshot.
Well, you know, the things that my eye catches, at first you look at it and go, nice. But the main thing that my eye catches, and I'm sure you already know this, you have two eyes, Artulator. What's Artulator's real name? I knew it a bit, so I can say her name.
Is it Casey or something?
Casey or Casey? Start with the K, so I don't have to call you now until somebody corrects me. Artulator, it's extremely hard to get all these circles perfect. And I would be shooting myself in the foot if I took Cassie. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Cassie. What? I'm gonna go with Cassie.
Is it Cassia?
Cassia. Yeah, mainly this line right here. That my eye catches. Right. Boom, boom. Obviously, we can't run one perfect circle from start all the way around to finish. It would be a bit weird. So you have to find those spots to drop a line off. Pick a line up, drop a line off, pick a line up, drop a line off, or maybe you can get through a couple. But just so happens on this particular spot, I had a little boo-boo and a few other spots as well.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, practicing it now on fake skin, you know what I mean? And I think you're practicing on a curved surface too, is she not?
I don't know whether she's done this one.
I thought I saw a picture of her working on it.
Yeah, I bet she's bottled out and not done this over curved surface. I'll be honest with you. And like I said, only reason I've been so hard on her is because she's does good work, and we've seen good work, you know, with the micro needles and everything. and that now she's scaling up. This is where she's finding it a little bit harder, and this is where we can come into play and say, look, yeah, you need to be drawing little circles every time, not putting a dot in. Yeah, you've approached the outer circle right, but can you see where it pints and dints out? And picking up and putting down, like you said, of dots and circles where you're doing your lines, and watching your line weights, your line consistency, your start point, your end point. And yeah, it might seem like we're being overcritical on her, but we have seen work that she is capable of, and she has got herself to this point that she deserves the super critical critique.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Some people might be watching and go, oh, why? It seems like one way or the other. But we get to know people, their abilities. Oh, gosh, I'm going to spill my drink. And you just want to, show them what they can do, what you see, right? It's not that I wouldn't want to do this tattoo, but hey, if you're doing it, let me show you a couple of things here and there. I don't want to do it. Give me a whole sleeve before I do something like that. Yeah, again, I like these thick lines you have going on, the contrast on it. It's just cool seeing the different styles you're working on. Solid saturated black. Yeah, it's sweet stuff.
Yeah.
See, thank you for sending these in. Thanks for letting us take a look at it. And it's fun to watch you progress week after week. Yeah.
And yes, that middle one was the one I was hoping that you'd sent in.
Okay. That's why I'm picking them. So Cassie is saying she's picking the hard ones. Give herself a challenge. That's it. Challenge yourself now while there's no human flesh on the line. All right, guys, let's see what we can get through here. All right, we got any information? No information. Here we go. That is
that is funky.
That is odd, man. If you bent your neck backwards, he would just close his eyes or something.
Yeah.
It's not applied horribly. It's a rough spot to tattoo with this circle, and it's relatively all right.
This person that's had this on just wanted a fun tattoo.
Dude,
you know what I mean? And he knows what it's all about. Is the flaws in it? Yes. Could the white be packed in a little bit more? Yes. You know what I mean? The circle around the outside, I would have probably liked to maybe made that a little bit fatter, so that just start out. But this is just one of them tattoos, no matter what you did with it. This is just hilarious. This is just a fun tattoo. Yeah. Someone's just gone, I want that. I want it on back of my neck. I want the eyes in the crease, that, like you say, as I move my neck forward and backwards, his eyes are going to either go really wide or shut up.
Absolutely.
That's what this is.
It's done all right too. I mean, for considering where it's at, not too bad at all. Boy, we're way past our time frame here. All right. Any tips would be appreciated. I bought myself a good tattoo machine from Christmas. Practiced a lot on fake skin / pig skin. This was my first true tattoo that my husband requested after seeing my shading talents. All right. Cool. Okay. It's a little bit light in on that wrist area, so it's probably going to heal and fade quite a bit. Could be wrong. Some spots are probably going to be there. Others are going to be kind of faint, but you could always go back over it, hit it one more time. It is a small tattoo. This is zoomed in quite a ways. In reality.
Grind them beans.
Yeah. For the sake of time, I'm going to move past it just to get us moving here, Andy. But yeah. So it'd be cool to see what happens there. You might find you might have to go back into it and work it a little bit more. Ink by Esto. What's up, guys? Esto back again. Okay. Still only a little over a year of experience. Let me know what you think.
This is cool, sweet, man. That is a nice tattoo.
Love the contrast in it.
Applied how a tattoo should be applied on the hand. Minimal lines, lots of shading.
Dark where it needs to be. Contrast.
Where it's going to think. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
This is our hand tattoo. Like this should be done. Complicated enough in it. Bulletproof, solid, and everything.
Yep.
Bang on.
Even if the white fades out on this, you're still gonna be left with a solid tattoo. Oh, there we go. We got the side, and it takes up the whole hand. That's not an easy thing to get to work out right. Oh yeah, beautiful as well, man. Like this a lot. From what I can see, line work's banging. I like the where they put the white in. It really keeps you moving through. Different shading techniques. All the little scales look consistent and smooth. There's maybe a couple not touching, but overall,
That's nice.
that's nice.
It's
Yeah,
slick, very, very slick, very nice. It's nicely done.
I agree.
No crazy, like you say, scales are nicely done. There's no crazy weird ass. They're all of a pretty much of the same thing. Nice bit of white in it, just enough with that bit of stipple shading and heavy shading and heavy black.
Yeah,
Awesome piece is this.
I agree. I agree. Let's move on. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's
Oh yeah,
creepy looking. Definitely has that like skin zipped open look. Smooth shading. Yeah, I like it a lot, man. I dig the style that he
yeah.
works.
I mean, what's it? Just over and this kid's just over a year, just
Yeah,
over a
yeah.
little
So
year,
he's
over a
still
year.
only a little
But
over a year of experience.
what I will say about this guy is obviously it can draw on paper. I'll
Yeah,
pretty
of
much put
course.
it out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
He's got art skills.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
I
And
mean,
that's
just from this piece alone, he's got art skills.
mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely as it makes it a lot better when you have that coming into tattooing. All right, we got no information here. This is from Diego. Wait, started a week ago. Ah, man, Diego, and you're already tattooing hands, bro. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Yeah, I mean, this is some fake skin. We definitely have some lines that are gone over several times, thinner, thicker. It's like this looks like a first couple times tattooing
Yeah,
fake skin. We need more. You got to do more. You need these lines smoother, crisper. We got a little bit of shading going on here, a little bit of black packing, but it's very rudimentary still, right? Let's be fair.
we can. You know what I mean? You're talking only a week in, Dave, so it's like I wouldn't expect anything more, really, to be fair, at this point in his tattooing journey.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we're early on, and we get what we get, right? I mean, this is not good. This lines are pretty jacked, man. As far as they look a little bit beat
Butchered.
in some spots. Ah, man.
It's butchered in his other places.
Yeah.
And other places and it's on, and this person's going to have to look at it every day.
Yeah.
This is like,
Yeah, don't do that.
I'll be honest, somebody's probably going to end up covering this up or reworking it at some point.
Yeah, I could definitely see a rework in the future, but don't do it as soon as it heals and you realize it's not good. Don't rework it then. Rework fake skin. Work on that fake skin. And and then if you're going to tattoo your skin, maybe think of your top upper thighs where the whole world's not going to see them and see your mistakes. And we doubled down and look what we ended up with, man. I mean, a 1 week of tattooing, this is this is not cool. This is all blown out here. Blown out, missing.
Not in.
Where it isn't, it's hammered where it's in.
Yeah, again with this, it's a week in your hand and it's in permanent show. Like you said, there blowouts not in, no line weights, line there that's absolutely drilled, that's going to scar like nobody's business.
Yeah.
I would say that somebody's either going to end up reworking it or covering this at some point.
Definitely.
And it's not a cool thing to do, unfortunately.
It's not, and I think sometimes people just don't know, and if they're catching the channel later, they're just kind of just finding maybe our little community here, and will let us tell you, man, hands are not the place you want to be practicing tattooing on. Fake skin's a great place, and then I personally would suggest maybe your upper thighs. If you're dead set on not tattooing yourself at all, maybe a friend. I don't know. It's up to you. You be an adult, but we're just passing on information. I'm gonna try to get through the next two. I think this one was just sent. I don't know that I'm gonna be able to get to everybody here, but we're gonna try. Okay, Orlando. 2 last works. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. All righty. I feel like this is kind of like 50%, if you will, right? It's like I'm not really a fan of it because I see what it could have been and what it should have been, and it's just kind of not there. The shading here is a bit is a bit really kind of looks rushed. It looks like a rush tattoo, just kind of putting stuff places, not really taking the time to put these shapes in properly. The the chin kind of looks like it's a teardrop down there at the bottom, curling around. I'm not sure that's exactly what it was supposed to look like. The nose, these eyes kind of are a bit strange. Sorry, my phone is dinging. But anyhow, not the biggest fan of this one, man. I do like the black. It's saturated pretty good, and we have some other shades, but it's a little bit too raky. Oh,
Yeah.
crap, my bad.
No, you're all right. You've pretty much covered that there.
Yeah, I'm going to give you this one.
Yeah, I mean, personally, this one's a little bit better.
It is a little bit better.
Especially the skull side of it, with the black on the outside. It managed to get some depth in the eye. You know, it's saturated black, you know, coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Is it great? And does it still feel rushed? Yes, it does feel rushed. And it's not 100%. And that when I do have the problems where we go to the all-seeing eye above, that's just not good at all. It's not Coleman. The eyeball needs a lot more definition. The iris is tonal. The eyes around it, and even the eyebrow is looking very rushed and very unfinished. And even to the outside, that black that's packed should be packed solid and then worked out, you know, gently.
Right.
The fleur-de-lis on the right-hand side should have had some lighter and maybe mid-tones in just to give them that bit of cool. It just looks rushed. It just looks rushed. The shading and the finish on the shading is not great. The line work round the triangle, round the all-seeing eye, is not in. You're either going to do a rustic line or some sort of rustic finish, or you're actually going to put a line in properly. And we've got neither. What I will say on the plus side, and that eyelashes with a 3-round liner, got them nice and sharp, got them curved, and at least they look like eyelashes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you nailed it on that one, man. Okay, let's see. Oh, we just looked at these. Okay, 2 of my latest. Perfect. All right, let's see what do we got here real quick. I'm gonna read this. Hi guys, love your show. Really glad I caught you live. Here are all the tattoos I've done so far, all in one image. First tattoo ever. Second tattoo, Stella, the letters. Third tattoo, tribal. Fourth tattoo, the skull. Fifth tattoo. Any honest criticism, more than welcome. I hope one day I can make this my job. Oh, and before I forget, you rock, guys, and your channel, man, is so good. Well, thanks, man. I'm glad it's helping you out, or you enjoy it, whichever it is. All right, this is actually a pretty crisp photo. Maybe we'll zoom in quite a ways on it. And yeah, you know what? This is like what 5 he did. The lining on this one's not too bad considering this is 1 of 5. I don't remember the order in which these were in, but not too bad. This is also that cheap fake skin as well, Andy. Yep, they got black packed in there, man.
Yeah,
that's a hard thing to do on that crappy skin.
Yeah, and it's quite a good image, is that, and it's quite nicely done. A couple of little bits here and there on some lines probably could have been, but that might be the skin. They're not looking as saturated if you wanted to get them thicker. But yeah, generally it's not bad. It works, does that basic image, but it works.
I agree. Same there. And I like this. This is cool.
Yeah,
this is cool.
It's
like
cool,
visually pleasing as well. And if this were on like a better fake skin, as you know, Andy, these colors would have been a bit better. That skin is a tough one.
Again, just one thing though. Can you see what? It's just a preference.
Sure.
In the sea, in the watercolor at the sea at the bottom, and that one dark. It's got that one dark swirl coming through it, just under. But I wish that just be a little bit of a darker blue. Yeah.
Yeah, more contrast in that blue.
Just more contrast.
Right.
But other than that, I like the effect. It's like a dripping paint effect, and yeah, I think it's.
Yeah, I like this.
There's not a great deal to criticize on it, but I think it's a nice overall piece. And
they're on par.
The skull's my favourite.
Yeah, I think I like this one personally, but yeah, this one is cool too. Love the contrast in it for sure. I
Yeah.
am rushing a little bit here.
We
Mosin
got one more.
said, well, I did get to look at his. That's good. All right, this is the last one. It was just sent in, but we're gonna take a quick look at it.
Right.
It looks nice from what I can see, but we'll see what we got.
Not
Oh,
on
that's
it.
cool looking. Oh
Right.
yeah,
So we've got
solid crisp lines, man. Little
nice,
line.
nice. Go on,
Yeah,
Dave.
yeah. No, I like it. I like it, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice use of. This is what I'm saying. This is a nice use of line weights on these leaves. Fat line weights down the middle, round the outsides. Swapped his cartridge on his needle, and
Yeah,
and he's
into
got them
small.
lighter lines, for the ribs through the thing. The stem, nice bold lines.
Mm-hmm.
The thorns come to a nice point using a bold liner, and then I like how he's gone with less is more.
Yes, and this is perfect for this style. You get the black from the line weight. Like the line weight's thick enough to give it like the black that it needs to make it feel complete, even though it's got a lot of open
Yes.
skin.
The only thing I would say, when you're this far away from it, Dave,
Sure.
in a couple of places, and maybe in the leaves and in a couple of places, where there's one side of the leaf is done either the stipple shading or the dot work, what would have been nice is if on the shaded side, it had started off a little bit darker from the center of the leaf and worked out to a lighter stipple. Do you understand? It made it pop off the skin a little bit, like he's done on the dimples on the side of the skull, where he's worked that little bit of dark in at the real back.
Yeah.
And it's gone, and maybe the same just in the corner of the eyes and the base of the horns. I think that may have just helped this piece pop off the skin a little bit more than it is. But that's all I will really say. But this is a really cool piece for the use of different line weights. And
I think that what would have been cool, maybe, again, we don't know, maybe a little more black in the eyes and nose. That'd be pretty cool. But I don't know if maybe that would have changed it. So overall, I'm gonna say it's
I don't know, but
solid.
like I say, it's all right.
Well, I certainly like this one more than I like the one we're about to look at. And the lining is not too much the issue, I think the lining's actually, it has some spots, but I can see that this person has a consistent, way of running lines. They can do it. Needs a little bit more time as it progresses, but the shading in this one's just throwing me off. It's not really working, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's
What's happened here is falling into trap. You got the rose at the bottom, and then you've got the water around the lighthouse. But unfortunately, it's got all the dark in the water around the lighthouse, and it's getting a little bit lost in translation between there and the rose, unfortunately. And like you say, it's not the lining that's the issue.
right.
It's the shading and the use of black. Now, I think if it
Technique
used,
too in the shading here. It's just
yeah,
it's too Reiki, and sometimes Reiki works in some work and it's intentional. Here, it doesn't feel like it's meant to be here in the manner at which it was put in here. So
I think it may have been better off. It might have even worked a little bit better if he'd have pulled up like a stipple shading in the bottom and just gone totally left field and gone with his own, which then would have left it a little bit more, not as dark at the bottom.
Right. But yeah, I mean, you got room to go back and smooth some stuff out. But overall, man, I can tell you got it, man. You got to figure it out to some degree, enough to where hey, we're on opposite sides now, Andy. Look at us. I'm on the right side now.
Yeah, did we get through them all?
That's all of them, man.
Woo-hoo!
I know I was pushing because I was like, man, I can't leave with like 5 left. But so anyhow, I'm glad we were able to get through everybody there at the end.
That's it.
It was
and I know it's frustrating for some people. They just might have not got their email in quick enough, and we go, well, we're off now, and they can see us the self on screen, but unfortunately, we do have to cut it short at some point.
Yeah, I figured today I was feeling I had a little extra energy for, all right, we'll do it 3 hours. We'll get everybody knocked out today, because then might not happen next week. because normally we try to go to about 2-hour mark,
Mm.
about 15 minutes getting transitioning off, and then so
Yeah, and it's a while since we've been on, this. But yeah, it's I'm just glad that we managed to get through.
It was a fun stream tonight. I was looking
Yeah.
forward to it. I enjoyed it. We got to see a variety of work, which is always great. And I like that the community people here understand that if something negative was said about your tattoo, it's coming from a good place. If it's coming, most of the time, come from myself and Andy. We mean well. We're not perfect. We have flaws in our work, all of them.
We have flaws in his work, not perfect by any chance. And it's a case of we just what we see, somebody else might not necessarily see, or some stuff that we don't see. Some other people are going, well, you've done that on that one, but you haven't seen it on that one. Are you blind?
Sometimes I'm blind, man.
And we're just going up because we don't have, and we was on about this last week, if you remember off camera, we don't have, because there's so many emails, we try to get through as many as we can. You don't really have enough time to scrutinize everybody's work as hard as what you would do, really.
Yes.
For you to get the best, but you're just trying to get the best of both worlds for everybody that turns up week after week and sits here listening to me and Dave chatting crap week after week. But again, we couldn't do it if you didn't send your work in.
Absolutely. That's it. And it's nice to know that every Sunday we have something to take a look at, something to, use to show you guys, hey, because I truly remember back in black in the beginning, and I thought I had saturated black and it looked good. And I remember watching it heal on my leg going, what the heck happened? Like, why is this is crappy black? I have bad black ink. I need better. This ink sucks. And just not realizing that what I was looking at was red pushing through and it looked dark and I thought it was saturated. So, we use other people's work to zoom in on and say, hey, look, see, this is what it looks black from here. When you zoom in, you see the unsaturated colors and whatnot. So you setting stuff in, letting us discuss it helps other people, who potentially don't know what they're looking for. What is a clean looking line? Shoot, I didn't know. I was happy if the line was in there and saturated in the beginning. So
yeah. And also going back to people coming, I'm just wondering, David, and I know people sending lots of pieces of work, some people sending 1, 2, 3, some people are sending one in. It's like you say, is it going to be better if we stick to just maximum of 3 pieces?
Yeah, I think so. 3 pieces.
Because it's fair to people then that are coming in, we stand more of a chance of going through. And unfortunately, if you send 7 pieces in, is it a case we just pick 3 random ones?
I guess if anything, if we have to, just like remember, Andy, when we started, I had to end up starting doing it to where I was just looking at pieces that were sent in live because people were sending emails in all week long and there was just hundreds of emails. And it was just unfair to me to go all the way to the bottom of the list and go, okay, I want to look at these. Those people weren't even here. They didn't know that they were on the show, so they never saw it. So I was like, you know what? Heck with that. We're only going to look at people who are live when we go live so they can be here, so they can hear us say, hey, Smoke, this is what's up with this piece. And they can be there to hear it, and they can say, hey, they can chat back and say, well, this is what it was actually happening. No, it was a cover-up. That's why. Okay, great. And so I do believe that we're at a point now where I think it's going to be wise to just say, you know what? We're going to look at 3. If you send 5, I'm sorry, we're going to look at the first 3. And we just got to move on that way.
Yeah, because it's like we say. Then
if not, we'll be 3 hours every single time. We can't.
Yeah, because then it's fair to people then that turn up and want the work, and we might be on for 3 hours. Somebody might have turned up in this chat and they've been here since beginning, but they just happen to got the work in, and by the time it's gone through, wherever it lands in your email, and they're like, oh, I can see them coming, and we go, well, we're off now.
I know, I hate doing it, man.
But they've been here, so I'm just wondering if you've sent 7, 8, 9, we just go, well, we'll pick that one, and that one, and we'll see what you've done. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like you say, we're getting a lot more emails through, or you are anyway.
Yeah.
But it's just fair, I think.
Yeah. I think
And
3. If you send something in 3, yeah, that's fair.
yeah, and
Agree, help us get
it's
through more
like I
people.
say, I mean, we'd be pretty bummed and pissed off if we turned up one week and nobody had sent their emails in. We sat there like this on camera, well, twiddling their thumbs, going, "Well, what do we talk about now, Dave?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll pick a random topic. I know we can blabber for a while. I don't know if people want to listen to it, but we could certainly find some stuff to blabber about. And if it's the great thing is, if there's only a few people, then we spend a bit more time, discussing it. So it's a win either way, really, for people. But yeah, looking forward to another week. I hope everybody's getting busy out there if you guys are tattooing.
Well, that's it, Ned. Now, a lot of them are coming along, and you can see the progression week after week, month after month. And like guys, it's one of them with this to get you sent to a point that's half right in this game, and to give people something that's decent and they're going to be happy with, takes a lot of work, takes a lot of practice. And it's if you're doing stuff and you can't even draw on paper, it looks like you've drawn something like a 3-year-old's drawn it, and that's on paper, then you need to work from there out. You need to get your art skills before you actually start tattooing. Images. I'm not saying that don't also start your tattooing process, because you can practice just pulling straight lines, you can print images off, but you also need to bring your artistry skills along as well.
Yeah, that's it. And try not to get complacent, because you'll hit little road marks, and you'll be like, okay, cool. And then you have the ability to get complacent right there. You got to try to kind of like try to push back, find the little things you can fix, and try to get to the next step and the next step. Art Related says, Dave, any new podcast coming? Funny enough, I was just thinking about that, to pay like monthly to have, and I don't post anything. I haven't posted any podcasts in a long time, or me just rambling. And I might do that. And I will be looking to, when I get to San Antonio, out in that general area, once I get stable, I'd like to find a couple people out there to have on the podcast on how we do this regularly on Sunday, maybe once every other week, have a group of a few artists, and we just discuss something and post it to, Spotify and all those places like I normally do now. And I would love for that to be new artists, people learning, just have people on. Obviously here, kind of a hard thing to do, but I thought that would be fun. So I am keeping my little podcast thing alive in hopes to revive it later on this year.
Smoke says you've got to record your voice. Smoke says also record your voice. He says so he can go to sleep to your voice. He wants you to sing him to sleep, Dave.
Yeah.
You need to get your little ukulele out and sing Smoke a song.
Oh shoot, that's funny. Yep. We'll package the voices. You are very tired, Smoke. You are very tired. You are a great tattoo artist, Smoke. You will be amazing.
That's it, over and over again.
Right. But I will say, guys, the biggest thing I learned, I walked away from this week, and I might even just put in a video just for the heck of it. But I am behind. I'm still working on editing the video for these pens here. They're pretty cool. You've probably seen other people probably give you a way better review, but I just give my first impressions on them. But anyhow, again, I say again, if you're doing anything black and gray or even color as well, anything that's time consuming, when you take photos along the way, I know it sounds kind of stupid or obvious maybe, but if you go on a break, you're halfway through the tattoo, take a photo of it, and study the photo. Look at it. Convert it to black and gray if you're working in black and gray. Boom. That's going to take the redding away. You're going to see tones for what they're supposed to be. And then you compare that to your reference, and you can start to see like, okay, I see where I'm deficient. I see where my tones need to be darker. Come back from that break, boom, go. You know what to attack. Work it. Move along. A couple hours goes by, take another break now, whatever. Boom, take another photo. Compare that to the old photo. Compare that to the reference. And each new one I'll pull up and I'll put next to my reference on my iPad. So I have the, you know what I mean? and you're just working off of the tattoo there, right next to your reference. Boom, boom, right next to each other. And I don't know. And then when you're on that break, you're just looking like, okay, when I come back, I'm going to do that, and that. And you do it. And I'm telling you, I would tell myself, ooh, let's take a photo, and we forget. Or the other thing that happens, in my opinion, is you finish the tattoo, you're looking at it like, I love this tattoo. It looks awesome. Clients, I love this tattoo. It looks awesome. Great. We take photos, and on my little on my camera and on this little screen, everything looks fantastic. Blah blah blah. And then you upload them, and you realize, oh shoot, in a photo, I should have shaded that up to there because it looks weird. In a photo looks off, but in real life, you go back, looks fine. The photo looks off. So again, if nothing else, before you break down your stuff, if you can, take client, maybe clean gloves, whatever, get a new photo and just double check it before you're done, because it's just helped, guys. It's just helped. So I figured I'd share that because I finally started taking that serious, and I finally started taking the photos, upload them, being slow and steady, and it's paying off. Last piece I did, this line piece, I'm a big fan of. I enjoyed it. I tried to put all the stuff into practice, and so I just figured I'd share that.
Yeah,
it's my departing wisdom.
Well, that's it. I think my parting wisdom, my top tip will be, like we said last week, definitely, if anybody asks you to do a neck or a throat, tell them to go take a running jump. You know what I mean? It's
say that again, Eddie. If somebody asks,
if somebody asks you to do a neck, if somebody asks you to tattoo a neck or a throat, just go tell them to take a running jump. It's but you all, we'd all sucker for punishments in his own way, aren't we, Dave?
Yeah. I know. If somebody came in today, I want to take that neck tattoo, it's like, oh, freaking book you, but man, I don't want to do it,
Yeah, like I say, I did that one this week, Dave. I hated every minute. It's like it were purgatory, absolute purgatory. Tattooing the throat. It was just didn't enjoy it. I was glad to get day over and done with.
That's why it's always crazy when you see somebody, they just get started and they're tattoo like the side of their neck. I'm like, yeah, come on, give yourself a chance. Don't be tattooing these wacky areas. Like you say, you're trying to stretch an area. It's on someone's throat, so they're already like,
it's like that.
You're looking them right in the eyes while you're like,
you got one hand bloody rammed on the windpipe and stretching across the windpipe, and then other ones you got your machine in it and dragging a mag across the windpipe. You know what I mean? And they're going, can I take a break? Can I take a break?
Right.
It's like, oh God. But
that is.
But we all do stuff that we wish that I'd never even started.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The one other thing I did find too, Andy, is that I'm fine if my clients want to use numbing cream. I really have no problem with it. I know we've talked about this in the past. I don't care whether you're tough or not. Don't mean nothing to me. I want to put the best piece of artwork I can on you, and that's what matters. So if numbing cream helps you sit better, helps you give me the amount of time I need to make this the best I can, then I'm down for it. Now, here's the other thing I found is usually I get towards the end, like I said, 5-6 hours into a larger piece or 5 hours in, and the person's like really like, oh, and you're thinking, gosh, I got to go back into those areas. I got to add the white, got to finish a few soft shades. And I end up rushing the end, the little fine bits, just because I can't. And you tell the client, hey, if you want, I can finish this up, come back in for another hour or so. They don't care. They're like, no, this is fine. I love it the way it is. But you're looking at it going, yeah, but it needs that final stuff. And they're like, no, this is great. I'm fine with it. And you're like, dang it. So all the tattoos are always going out, in my opinion, at like 85% of what they should be. So what I did this lately is I have been they get to like that 5 hour mark. I can tell their skin's not done. You can read the skin and know this skin still has time. This is just hurting you quite badly. I will put numbing cream on the tattoo. The place to be tattooed. Let it set. And so like you're working in an area, right? You're working on the tattoo. It's getting sore. While the pores are open, I will put numbing cream on the tattoo. Let it sit for like 20 minutes. Take it back off. And you know what I mean? You got another 45 minutes to finish up, put white in, and I have no problems. So, in my opinion, from my experience, I
Andy
Applying
Bears.
numbing cream to the tattoo while you're tattooing it, or
What's that?
intermittent, has been fine for me.
Yeah, I don't. What I do is I go through. They've got numbing cream on. If it's a big piece, they'll put numbing. I get them put numbing cream on bottom, and then if I'm working my way up, when they come in studio, I'll put the numbing cream on there, wrap and work on this piece, and then work up. But then I'll generally work up, and then when I've got to go back in, I'll spray them with Bactine.
Yeah, that's
Let them sit, and then I'll spray them again. Let them sit again. I'll do it 2 or 3 times, and then go and do it. What's that, TJ? And Andy B has like 2 tattoos. Believe me, mate, I've got more than any 2 tattoos. But yeah, that's why they invented Bactine, Max. Don't use.
Yeah, I do that as well, but for me, just going straight up numbing cream was really nice because it really let the client relax that last 45 minutes where they were going to fight through it. They would have fought through it because I know that they could and the skin was there, but it gave me that little extra time. They were comfortable. It took the retting down on the tattoo. It was all around. It worked really nicely. So I like to know that I've been wanting to try that, but I just I don't know, numbing cream right on, how is that going to go? I don't know. But no, it numbed up the skin. There was no irritation, no burning. But it could be case by case. You might run into somebody, might have a reaction. But this particular person uses numbing cream on the regular, so it didn't really.
Yeah. What I would say, and I've said again, said to you, we spoke about this on camera. Vaseline.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm not a believer in it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. You can have some nasty. How can you put it? Yeah, it works really well, but you can end up with some nasty results on your tattoo because it's also a vascular constrictor as well. And like I say, so you go away, especially if you're packing a lot. Yeah, it might go and they go away. Then once it starts wearing off and the vessels stop constricting, you start bleeding, getting a bit of blood, then it can start pushing it all back out. But also it can Vaseline on some people also seems to change the skin to an orange peel texture.
Sure. Yeah.
And
that's possible too. I haven't had any negative yet, so to be continued, I think. But man, it was just I usually spray at the end with that Bactine, and it helps a little bit, but putting a thin layer, letting it sit for about 15-20 minutes, wiping it off, it seemed to just be a lot better.
Your letter says you used Bactine and had problems putting ink in. I've used Bactine for ages. Never had a problem with Bactine.
There's people that use it in their washes. Not their washes. I'm sorry. In their on their rags when they're wiping or whatnot. They'll have Bactine on it. I've never.
I've used Bactine for ages and that never had a problem. It goes in dead easy. Does thing. Vaseline, yes. What I do run, and I don't know about you, in my wash water. In my wash water, I also have Dettol in my wash water because I find it also breaks ink down. Breaks ink down in your cartridges to clean your needles out easier.
I did not know
that. So I just use, I have a rinse cup about so big, a plastic cup, about so big. Just put a little bit of Dettol in bottom, fill it up with your water, and then obviously it's an antibacterial, it's an antiseptic and everything and that. But Dettol breaks ink down and dry ink down really, really well. Does Dettol?
Nice. I got a bunch of that too from the video.
Yeah, especially if you. I tell you what, if you ever drop any on your floor, ink on your floor and it dries. Yeah. It dries. Just get some neat Dettol, spray it on, leave it for a couple of minutes, and just wipe straight off.
No, kid, I forgot I have that in the toolbox and kind of in the bottom shelf there where I never go. Interesting. I might have to pull that out. Never really put any of it in my rinse water as well.
Yeah, I just put a bit in my rinse water, and you can smell it, and your rinse water will be just like a whitey milky color. You need a little bit. But yeah, doing that, and it just helps break the ink down. Yeah, in your tips as well.
That's Dettol. I think it's DETOL.
Yep, that's it.
Yep, and then
you got it. Dettol, that's the one.
Oh,
Um,
DETTOL. Yeah. Yep. That's
yeah,
the one.
I've used it for ages. Never had a problem. Nobody's ever complained.
It works
And
great for putting stencils on too. Put a
yeah,
thin amount on the skin.
yeah.
Super
And I've
cheap.
always found it cleans. Like I say, keeps my cartridges. Just find them a lot easier to clean out. Rinse out. Like you say, just a bit of bacteria. What's that? Also kills cane toads. What the hell's a cane toad?
How do you know that?
Mary Rouser, okay, you mix it with rinsing water. Yeah, you mix it in with my rinsing water, but you only put a little bit. You don't put loads in, just put a little, depending on how big your cup is. I mean, I have a cup, like you get out of a drinking fountain, the little
Yeah.
plastic cups. My rinse cups are like that. What are they, about 17 ounce or something? I don't know. It's
Yeah, mine's like one of those little cups you
big,
get.
probably about,
Yeah.
probably about that big.
Yep.
And that. And I just put a little bit, just put about so much in bottom and just fill it up with water.
Yeah. Well, good to know.
Cane toad
Are you
is a
later?
toad the size of a dog.
Cane toad is a toad the size of a dog? What? And why are we
Jeez.
using that? Well, actually, it makes sense because Cassia was saying that she wanted to use Dettol as well, but it's super toxic for animals, so she don't want it in her house or around the cats. Yeah, it's fair enough. So maybe that's the same stuff that's killing small dogs, aka cane toads.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. Okay. Well, anyhow, guys, this is why we budget 30 minutes to getting off the stream, because before we're done, we're in cane toads.
Yeah, I'm going to say we end up with tattooing and finishing up with cane toads at the size of dogs.
Hey, that's sometimes you gotta end with cane toads and Dettol, and tell you know it was a good stream. This was a long one, guys, for 3.5 hours.
Yeah, although we haven't, Dave still hasn't finished off with his steak and lobster, have you, Dave?
No, I'm told, but Texas is known for its steaks. So we will, when we move to Texas, we'll knock out the steaks, and then in a few years, we'll probably have to move to wherever lobster is prominent and get that. So this is gonna be a long, drawn out thing, right? We gotta get this steak first.
And you do understand. We won't believe that you've actually done it until you photograph it and put it on Insta.
I'm aware. Yeah, people are gonna be like, "What's going on? A random steak, some lobster, what's that?" But the people who know, they will know.
Yeah,
they will know.
That's been long standing as that.
And if I lie, she'll jump in the chat. She apparently.
Yeah, that's been long standing as that steak and lobster. And like I say, I think your wife's been waiting more than long enough for it now.
She's been patient.
Yeah.
That's how you know they're the good ones,
That's it.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you next week. Hopefully, sometime this week, Tuesday, Thursday. I'll giving you my thoughts on these pens. These are pretty cool. Really wish they were around when I started tattooing, because there's a big place for them here. Anyhow, I'll stop rambling. Guys, have a good night. Thank you for being here. Have a fantastic week. Stay warm if it's cold. Stay warm if it's cold. I'm leaving. Later, guys.
See you later.